So that's enough to stare at the screen there. Good morning, good afternoon. Actually, it is afternoon in most places now. It's about a 50-50 split here in America. I don't know about you other countries. If you're watching from other countries that aren't America. In any country, though, I am Flynn Church, and this is the Church of Flynn. It is a Wednesday morning here. Sunny, a little cool. Humidity's a little off the scale, but this is not the weather report. This is the Church of Flynn. This is the Church of Flynn when we play the thing that we are playing. Why did my thing not update again properly? I don't know. Ah, it's got the wrong game. God dang it. Let me update that. Sorry, I'm really a little anal about what I'm showing is playing. There we go. That's better. Why it says I'm offline, I don't know. Well, you've probably guessed by looking at the thing at the top that we're playing Callahan's Crosstime Saloon again. I got the CD version of Shadow of the Comet working sort of yesterday, but it's such a sluggishly plotting thing that, and I'd have to start over because we'd lose all our progress since the saves are not cross-compatible. So we're going to go back to Callahan's for now. Probably come back to that game I was just talking about, Shadow of the Comet, at a later date. So with less blabbing, more slabbing. Now, we're going to have to actually double back some. Because, as you might remember if you were here, the wax lips are screwed up. There's supposed to be a wear option on them at all times, but there's no wear option. For some reason, the option disappeared. I think it's got something to do with wearing the wax lips and the magic head at the same time. It screws them up. So they can't be worn. They have to be worn because of that's how you get the curse mark from Sasha. So we gotta go back a step. May as well delete this game. Go back to here. Now at this point we already have the Bonnie. We don't have the wax lips. And we haven't schlepped Peter out yet. So we need to go in here. We're going to be repeating a lot of old terrain, so I'm not going to be looking at a lot of stuff. We're going to be skipping a lot of dialogues. Now we know we need to buy the... Did I already buy that?
I mean,
What?
just come.
No.
You
Bring back my...
That's the antenna. Oh, I do already have the pentacle. Maybe buy the wax lips.
I'll sell you.
No, wait. Keep hitting the wrong button because it's escape to cancel in the other game. Alright, now I have the wax lips. Do I have the ability to go to...
Where are we all? Good enough.
Okay. Need to find out about the old woman and the curses. God, makes the game accident that way these days.
Yes.
What are you drinking?
This. Would you get?
Maybe.
Maybe.
On what?
I don't want.
You have to be careful.
I see.
Okay.
Yes.
That's not the chat option I wanted.
Are you alone?
Yes.
Would you?
Yes.
Are you alone? Would?
I hate when I do that. If you click too fast, it tends to pick
Yes.
options for you.
This town is whacked.
That's very descriptive. What does it mean?
It means that I'm free.
I'm sorry.
What language?
Well, perhaps.
Must. It.
What could
We have.
we have?
I didn't say it.
Because you have.
Curse it. It means
If you were not.
I've known.
Mm, yes.
Are you pop? Moved to the United?
Yes. I believe I knew a Piotr who lived in Cap. Well.
I think I remember who told me about the old woman.
Where are we? Let's go to the... That'll be...
Hello, good afternoon. Willkommen to das Streamen thingen while we are doing the gaming with the lads upon us.
Ready to depart.
I haven't been able.
I'm sure he...
Yes, I'm sure he's in one of the two drinking
Ready to
establishments.
Not
by all.
where
Cast.
and Piotr.
This is his...
It's beautiful.
Thank you. I keep bumping into things.
Maybe some.
Indirect. There.
We're having.
I'm... Ready to depart.
I just wanted.
Then you're...
Nope.
Rat.
Excuse.
We have rats. Speaking of...
I don't.
Somebody tells me about the old woman upstairs. I just don't remember who it was.
Right here.
Who read?
Permanent.
I must not.
Oh,
What do you?
wouldn't it? Right here.
I'm not a.
I know.
And you.
Why shouldn't
You don't act like.
my... Right here.
Let's strike.
Mm-hmm.
You're all right.
Am I actually wearing the tattoo yet? Yeah.
Stonebender. Jake Stonebender.
You bend stone, me break stone.
Yes, the similarities between your mind and cottage cheese are obvious. What's this about needing a curse to get in?
Must have mark of curse.
Where do I get a curse mark?
Old gypsy, woman, old woman gypsy.
Alright, that's the key word I needed.
Where are we off to? If you say so, sir. She's a bit of a skank, sir. But I wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating maggots, if you know what I...
And we did all this last time.
So, when was the last time you had a haircut? You look like a girl. No wonder you're not married again already. What kind of woman wants a guy with longer hair than hers? Ugh, don't even get me started.
I appear to have already gotten you started.
Wait, don't tell me I know it already. Your name is Jay. No, Jake. Jake's Smokeenders. Jake Smokeenders. Am I right or what?
Very close. It's Jake Stonebender.
Oh, please, it's the same thing. So, who sent you?
Tor sent me.
Oh, Tor, so sad about him. He was such a nice boy. But now, ugh.
I know. Is there any way to cure Tor?
I tried, believe me. He doesn't want it. He keeps saying something about a lawsuit and I'm gonna be rich soon and... I don't know. So?
Do you know a fella named Piotr?
Only about 1,000 of them. Why?
I got a friend named Piotr who lives here, in Castle Florescu.
Piotr from the Florescu Piotrs? I knew him, what, must be close to 100 years now. How is he?
He's depressed, he's sad, and he's lonely. He came back here from America. I'm not sure why.
That's a shame. He was such a sweet little nudnik.
I love that word nudnik for some reason.
So?
I'd like to get into Casimir's, but they want me to have a curse mark.
And? So? Show him your case mark.
I don't have a curse mark, I don't think.
Why not?
It fell down between the couch cushions and I couldn't find it.
And you vacuumed it up, didn't you?
Probably, yeah.
See, that's why I say if it comes off, bring it back to me and get it properly rerouted. Otherwise, there's a replacement charge. Did you get it from me? I'll look in the book.
No, I don't think I got it here.
Well, what's your case? I'll get you a new one.
I'm a werewolf.
We went
See?
through the...
Is that a lovely pentagram? They're usually just a lot of little whiteheads in sort of a five-pointed star shape. But this is beautiful. Mr. Eisenstadt, did you see his pentagram?
I saw it. It's beautiful.
What else do I need?
I'm not so sure the wolfbane is in bloom.
You pull out the wolfsbane bloom and hand it to the gypsy.
Wonderful. You have any silver?
I'm not sure.
Try me.
Will these do?
You give the palming coins to the gypsy, and her eyes sparkle.
Wonderful, wonderful.
She makes an entry into her ledger, then takes a jar off the shelf. It's filled with a brownish flesh-like putty. She molds it carefully for several minutes, using a toothpick for the fine details. Painting a spot onto your temple with a thick, green, pungent-smelling liquid, she presses the little curse mark into your skin.
I can feel it taking root.
That shows it's working.
She shines a small blue high-intensity bulb at it for a few moments, then dabs away the excess green growth medium with her handkerchief moistened with
Stop that.
saliva.
Now listen to me. Don't get this wet for at least 4 hours. Don't pick at it. Usually that'll make it come off, but sometimes they burrow down to get away from your finger. And don't shave it. Now run along. Go to your bar, wherever it is you're going.
Thank you. See you later.
You will, you will.
Back to town.
You tar friend, tar like.
I think you would really benefit from Schoolhouse Rock. Conjunctions are very useful for hooking up words, phrases, and clauses.
Tor hooked on phonics.
It worked for me. You walk up to the entrance, but the bouncer puts out a hand to stop you.
You have curse mark.
You proudly show him your curse mark. He examines it closely and is evidently satisfied because he steps aside and holds the door open for you. You pull open the split door and experience the most intense deja vu of your young life. You instantly feel as if you were in Callahan's on Halloween with everyone in costume and the only night when Mike turns the lights down low. Curiously, you can't remember if Callahan's is packed on holidays or if it's empty. Seems you remember it both ways. Besides the subdued lighting, the next most obvious difference is the smell, which is heavy and coppery, the aroma of fresh blood. Callahan smells more like sawdust and beer. But besides the smell and the intimidating crowd, the atmosphere is one of conviviality. You hear a lot of laughter and storytelling, and you see a lot of belligerent-looking carnivores listening attentively to creatures who could easily constitute snack time instead. With the spirit of Callahan's place palpably present, you realize that this place's namesake, Casimir, may come from the same place and time as Mike. It might even be related. Hell, they could be the same person, although you doubt Mike would send you here if he was making the trip himself.
Welcome,
It's a phenomenal place you got here.
Casimir Pajitnov, owner and operator.
He offers you his beefy right hand.
Jake Stonebender, pleased to meet you. You know, this place reminds me a lot of a bar in the United States.
Long Island?
That's right.
Oh, next time you see Mike, tell him Casimir sends his best, won't you?
I will.
Terrific. If I can do anything for you, just scream.
Alright. Most of this is just useless fluff, so we're going to go right to Piotr. You're not sure at first, but yes, that's Piotr. Looks listless, pale, and far less energetic than usual.
Well, 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 it's the man who wears the star.
You assume he's talking about your pentagram.
The big, bright Texaco star.
What's he getting at?
Can I trust my car to you? Or don't you do brakes?
It lands like a blow to the groin with a spiked tennis racket. Having a drunk friend say something that socks you in the gut is no surprise. Alcohol and despondence make a great glass cleaner for the window into the soul, especially for the basement windows.
If you're here to pay your last respects, I'm already dead.
You're being very childish.
I know you are, but what am I?
You're being very childish.
I know you are, but what am I?
We could go around for that, like that for a while.
Piotr, dear Piotr, come home with me now.
No.
God damn you, Piotr, I'll see you in hell.
Last one in's a rotten egg.
I come all the way from America to see you, and what do I get? Smart mouth comments.
You know, Jake, you're such an old gypsy woman sometimes. I'm going to drink till sunup, and then you know what's going to happen?
You'll fade away until you vanish completely?
No,
You'll shrivel like a prune until you're a corpse?
no, again.
You'll turn into a man-shaped pile of dust?
Nope. Guess again.
I give up.
I'm going to turn into a pile of dust in the shape of a man.
Didn't I guess that?
Nope. So I appreciate your following me here, but my maid is bined up. Now, let me drink in peace.
Alright.
Right here.
You guys have theme nights?
Sure we do. Tonight's curse night.
So I discovered.
And whoever figures out the riddles on the blackboard gets cursed extra loudly by everybody else in the bar.
Oh yeah, I know how that goes.
We haven't started the riddles yet, though, and then on Mondays, there's the wet t-shirt contest night.
Some of these guys must look pretty ghastly in wet t-shirts.
Well, for dog's sake, we don't wear the t-shirts. Everybody brings in their favorite t-shirt. We dunk them in the sink, lay them out on the bar, and whichever one looks the best when it's wet wins. Is there some other way to do it?
Nah.
Not worth it.
Right here.
How long has Casimir's been here?
Next year will be 125 years in the same location. And most of the regulars are the same ones we started with.
You must have met some very famous people.
For a time, about 40, 50 years ago, when Hollywood discovered us, yes, we had a lot of actors coming in, researching their roles. Used to have their pictures covering the walls. Right here.
You've known Pyotr for a long time, I take it.
Longer than I like to dwell on. I knew him back when he was knee-high to a knee, I guess.
What happened when he left Transylvania? What happened with the woman?
I hate to say, because I know you're trying to help him, but we have a sort of rule around here that you don't pry. You figure when someone wants to tell you, he'll tell you.
I'm not asking you to break any confidences.
And it's not like I'm invisible either, or maybe I am. Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you.
See? I forgot everything I ever learned about being a magician. Or a ninja.
Sorry, Jake, but it doesn't matter. He'll tell you what he wants to tell you when he's ready. Till then, it won't matter. Can't help a guy who doesn't want to be helped.
You've always accepted this as a truth, but you also think back to Tommy Jansen. By the time he knew he needed help, he was too unconscious to ask for it. Fortunately, he got help without having to ask for it.
In his frame of mind, I'm worried it's going to be too late before he asks for help.
You're keeping an eye on him. That's all you need to do.
And hey hi there, Mr. Namit. R and all that stuff. R, S, T, and U. But no V. No V today.
Right.
You've known Pyotr.
Longer.
What happened to the rest of his family?
I didn't know the rest of Pyotr's family. They didn't come in much. And Pyotr never really said much about them. I don't think he approved of their line of business.
What can I do to help him?
I think you're on the right track.
He doesn't usually drink like this.
See if you can get him to go for a walk with you. Maybe clear his head a little. I'm not sure his being here is helping him.
And I remember how to deal with this one. Let's go over hard. Take the jukebox.
If you want to try and fix it, go ahead. Just don't take it out of the bar. I can sell it to one of the doctors around here for spare parts.
You place the jukebox into the dumbwaiter and send it up. That's a big old dumbwaiter. Up and up it goes into the churning storm clouds overhead. Slowly the jukebox descends from the roof.
It's alive! Alive!
Good Lord.
Spaffon.
You haul it out of the dumbwaiter and dust some of the char off it. Sure enough, it seems to be working. It's lit and you can hear whirs and clicks and shit. Inwardly, you feel some guilt. After all, maybe man should be playing repairman with the primal forces of nature, fixing things he doesn't understand and deigning to say which appliances live and which ones die. What the hell, it's just a jukebox. Put the jukebox back on the stand. Trying to lift with your knees, you hoist the jukebox up and tip it onto its stand. And then you play the one that he doesn't want us to play, which is B17 as slime goes by. I'm in the mood Ponfar simply because you're Nimoy. encuentro de vida, seizures in the sun, life is just a bowl of cherries. With a brief hum and a series of clicks, the jukebox begins to play B-17 as Slime goes by. The moment as Slime goes by starts to play, Pyotr stumbles off his chair.
Didn't I say not to play that?
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
You put your arm around him, but he shrugs it off.
I can walk myself.
You steer Pyotr out of the bar. You steer Pyotr out of the crowded bar, and into the street.
I feel sick.
Do you have to throw up?
I don't know. My head hurts.
Let's get you home.
Pyotr pulls his arm away from you, bringing you to the realization that you've been gripping him tightly for the past minute.
I don't want to go home. I'm not ready to go home.
Okay, want to see if we can sober you up?
He pauses for a moment and closes his eyes. A pained scowl crosses his face. You beat the pained scowl off, and it flies off into the night, hooting angrily. Sorry, I couldn't even read the last part of that. The pained scowl punt kicked me in the teeth. Let's get you some coffee, Pyotr. You steer your swaying friends into Star Bucharest's.
What?
My friends had a little too much to drink. What do you recommend?
The clerk looks at you, then at Pyotr, and begins to assemble a drink. She dumps orange juice into a metal drink maker cup and follows it up with Worcester sauce and a raw egg. Watching this is hard enough, but you have to look away when she drops in a scoop of dozens of small things that cling desperately to the scoop and make high-pitched whining noises. A couple of small shrieks later, she starts up the old drink master and blends the cocktail. She hands it to you, and you hand a few Bonnie over to her. You, in turn, hand the foul-smelling beverage to Pyotr, who looks at it in horror.
I can't.
He pushes it away, obviously not yet prepared to pour anything on top of what already's in his gut.
I can't drink that. The room is spinning.
I think that's just the interface.
You take the noxious curative back to the lady at the counter.
I'll put it in the fridge. If he changes his mind, let me know. What?
What do you have here for people who don't like coffee or tea?
Not a lot of sympathy. Pastries there, but most of them you want to be able to wash them down quickly with something hot and antiseptic.
She does sound like Starbucks.
What?
Do you have anything for a hangover besides that concoction with the raw egg?
It's the best thing for him. He'll drink it, give him time. Coffee won't cure a hangover. That's an old wives' tale. Yeah, Pyotr.
Pyotr groggily takes a look at the woman sitting at the table. He squints at her, looks away, squints at her again. He takes a third look before his eyes get huge. Actually, his eyes stay the same size, but because he's looking particularly emaciated, they really appear to take up more of his face than usual.
Sasha?
How are you?
Same as ever.
I think I'll just step outside for a while.
Stay here, Jake. We just sat down. This is the woman I never told you about.
You must have.
I would have married this woman. Ziv and I both wanted to.
Pyotr.
When she met me to tell me she'd picked Ziv, she had lines on her face.
I don't...
Lines from the bedclothes. From lying on the sheets with him.
I don't believe this.
She put her arms around me and called me sweetheart. But she smelled like him.
I'm just going...
You're drunk, you're being disgusting, and you're embarrassing everybody. I think you should leave. And if you won't leave, the least I think you could do is leave me alone.
Come on, Pyotr, let's get out of here. I'm sorry, this was my mistake.
What the hell happened to you? You know?
Come on.
Encountering only slight resistance, you manage to lead Pyotr out the door. Handling him is like handling a huge floppy marionette. It's his alcohol-oiled joints. You sit him down on the convenient barrel and manage to prop him up after some balancing. You head back into Star Bucharest's, offer a quick apology to Sasha, and leave with a cup of cafe au lait. Then you proceed to pour down Pyotr's throat, much to his dismay. But the caffeine and capsaicin do their trick, and within 15 minutes, Pyotr is looking and sounding noticeably better.
Is she still there?
I think so. But I wouldn't try to talk with her again just now.
Jake, I swear she's nothing like the woman I left here. I mean, completely different. She looked different, too.
Very severe.
I'll tell you something, she didn't used to have that Cindy Crawford thing going on with that mole on her face. We don't get cancer, otherwise I'd be worried.
What do you get?
Too much iron sometimes, a little vitamin A overdose.
Could it be a curse mark?
I know where her curse mark used to be.
That wasn't it?
No.
No. The two of you lurch out into the creme de mented. Hey, Gypsy
What are you
lady.
doing here?
Well, on nights like these, I can make more in town, and then I pass the savings on to you. It's just one more way I make it easy to shop the old gypsy woman way. Hello, Mr. Werewolf.
What if I knew somebody that might be under a curse of some sort? How would I tell this person's person how to tell what kind of curse it was?
I'm very sorry. You're gonna have to do better than that.
If I think somebody might be under a curse, how could I tell?
Oh, I don't know if that's something you could tell, honey. I could probably tell if I could see exactly what the mark looked like. But I guess you'd have to get your friend's Pyson here. Hello, Mr. Werewolf.
Just wondering how I can get this curse mark off later.
Well, any qualified surgeon should be able to get it out for you. But you have to make sure they get the whole root. If you've got a syringe, you can get rid of it yourself with a little weed killer. But don't tell the kids I told you that. I could get in big trouble. Hello, Mr.
Do you and the driver have a thing going?
Did you hear that, Mr. Eisenstadt? He wants to know if we've got a thing going.
He's a crafty one, that boy is.
Should I give him an answer?
He didn't ask me, madame. He asked you.
He's a very evasive man.
He's a very well-respected man. And that accent...
The images that puts in my head. I'm really glad I had a late lunch.
Yeah?
I want to trace somebody's mole. You have any tracing paper?
Oh boy, honey. That one takes the cake for the stupidest question I've gotten in years. Here, you win.
She reaches under the counter and produces a wedge of cheese encased in a wrinkled rind and thickly carpeted with turquoise and gray fur.
What's this?
The cake.
I don't 100% get that one, but okay. The clerk puts on some asbestos gloves and hands you the 500-degree cup of coffee.
Careful with that. It might be a tad warm.
Alright. This is the puzzle we could not get past the last time. So, you dip the wax lips into the hot coffee. Immediately you can feel the wax soften. Then you wear the wax lips, you put the wax lips in your mouth and clamp down on them. Don't let people see you doing this. They'll start calling you hot lips. Now, kiss Sasha. You stand and press your big, full, hot lips to Sasha's temple. She's still and unyielding, and her skin is as cold after you kiss her as it was before. She gives you a look of cool disapproval. Although she remains silent, her message is clear. Your actions were inappropriate, no matter how charming the sentiment might have been. You remove the lips from your mouth to speak.
I apologize. It's a custom in my country.
She purses her lips and gives you a look of exasperation at the strange country you must be from. Sasha gathers her newspaper and rubs the spot on her forehead around her curse mark where you press the hot lips to her skin. She icily suggests that you both sober up, and that said, turns on her heel and walks out. So now we... The java has cooled off slightly. If you spilled it on yourself, death would come a lot slower. You take a small sip of the coffee. Even when it's not 500 degrees, the habanero, it makes it stingingly hot. The wax lips cool off and reharden, however, a perfect impression of Sasha's curse mark remains behind. Give the wax lips to the gypsy woman. You hand the lips to the gypsy and she eyes them.
This is an impression of a curse mark.
Yep.
It's not very good.
What do you mean? It's great. It's precision.
I don't like it.
She pulls out a jeweler's loupe and peers at it intently. Then she swings around and grabs a ledger off the shelf behind her. Setting it on the sill, she opens it up and runs her finger down a list.
Let's see. Clothespins, clouds, cloven hooves. Oh, here we go. Clovers. 11, 121, 232.
She flips a few more pages.
232. Alan Pellegrini. Is this from Alan Pellegrini?
What, the curse mark? No.
All right, don't get huffy. Let's see. 121, Mrs. Murchison. Oh, I gave Mrs. Murchison a clover. Imagine that. Is this from Mrs. Murchison?
You look at Piotr, who shakes his head no.
Well, I only have an 11. Let me look. This is old. Is this Sasha? I can't read the name.
That's the one.
She examines the entry next to the name.
Oh, this is a wonderful case. Oh, this is a good. You'll never get this one off. This is a case that drains the casey of the ability to experience emotion. No love, no hate, no happy, no sad, no joy, no pain, no nothing.
How do we counteract it?
This is what makes it such genius. To cure the case, you make an anti-caselant. You need tanner leaves, you need, this is going to bother me until I can think of it.
It's important.
Rather.
Just a minute. Tanner leaves and is it... No... Mako root. Mako root. Yeah, that's it.
And those are hard to get?
Oh, I don't know. No, the hard part is, the third thing you need is the tears of the casey. And that's the thing. How do you get tears from somebody who can't cry?
You can't.
Exactly. Oh, I'm so proud of it. It's one of mine, this case. Original with me.
Do we, chop an onion?
I suppose. I don't know. Maybe even then they can't cry. I never actually made the anti-caselant before. That I remember. So, get me some tanner leaves, some Mako root, some tears, and we're in business.
You don't have any of those things?
Listen to you. If you had to deal with the people I have to deal with to get tanner leaves and Mako root, you wouldn't be such a schmagegi.
Okay. The gypsy adds offhandedly that the curse was actually ordered by Sasha's new husband and applied by him while she slept. You can practically hear Piotr's blood, what there is of it, begin to boil. Well, I have tanner leaves. No, I don't, because I haven't bought it yet. You say goodbye to the gypsy and turn your attention elsewhere. Okay, well, we know where to get the tanner leaves. You grab a sack of tanner leaf tea, the tea that made Sri Lanka recognized for its tea exports.
That'll be all the fingers on your left hand.
Pardon me?
Oh, did I say all the fingers on your left hand? I meant 22 Bonnie.
You carefully push 22 Bonnie across the counter and pull your hand back quickly before the clerk can have at it. Okay. We open that, we now have tanner leaves. Wonder if he knows...
I'd be happy to offer you half off.
Give me a thing of Mako root if you have any.
I don't know what that is, sir. I mean, I know what Mako root is, but I don't know if we have any things of it. I didn't even know it came in things. You'll have to look around. I just don't know right off the top of your... off the top of my head.
Are these straight?
We won't have jackets until summer. These are straight t-shirts. Just as confining, but perfect for warm spring days.
Discounts abound on off-label dried soup mixes, vicious wah or human being, cookies, Thrips Ahoy and Gorios, and snacks, pretzels, the original pretzel-flavored pencil by Fexon Castaroga. I gotta remember where I can... No, don't quit. Hi, Car. Welcome to Puncast. She knows where I can get some.
Yeah,
I'd like some of your finest Mako root.
Mako root. What do we look like, a distillery? We do have Mako root syrup, but it's all artificial flavoring.
Maybe that'd do.
What's it for?
The old gypsy woman needs it for something she's making.
She needs a real Mako root. Good luck, Charlie.
Arm itches. Violent arm itching. Next on Flynn Church. Maybe Casimir knows about it. You instantly spot the addition of a familiar-looking blackboard. There are some riddles written on it, and all the conversation is turned to solving them. You didn't realize riddle night was an international tradition. Oh boy, riddles. Hey, Casimir.
Yes, fellas?
You wouldn't happen to have any Mako roots lying around, would you?
We have Mako root schnapps, but the Fugato bought the last of it. It makes them giggly. Is that what you need?
I don't know. Is there any place else to find some?
I'd ask Tyree or one of his men if they were here tonight, but they're not. Sorry.
Well, you know what? Let's solve us some riddles. The large chalkboard, not unlike Callahan's, which is a clumsy way of saying it's like Callahan's, stands in front of the fireplace. There are 10 clues listed on the chalkboard. Chime, moisturizing, plant, snug, yard, linked steel, leg joint younger, and so on and so forth. Not about to read the whole thing. Okay. The fact that it doesn't even look like I can solve this one. I guess that looks like Burnout Lawton, but that doesn't mean anything to me.
Yes, fellas?
I'm having trouble with the Curse Night puzzles.
What kind of trouble?
I don't know how to play.
Oh, it's easy. Mike taught me how to play these. The answers to each of the 10 riddles is a name. All 10 names have something in common. So once you figure out what that is, that can be helpful in thinking of possible other names. Each clue is made up of a string of unrelated words. You have to come up with the right synonym for each word in order to approximate the sound made by the name. For instance, let's say I gave you the following puzzle. Certain. Peru capital, pottery medium, contrary prefix.
Okay, you gave me the following.
It doesn't work a second time. Now, if you thought about it, you could use sure for certain. You would know that Lima is the capital of Peru.
Sure I would.
You would probably guess clay for the pottery medium. And let's say you had no idea what the contrary prefix was supposed to be. Put the rest together, say it in a string, and see if it doesn't suggest someone's name to you.
Sure, Lima, clay.
Faster.
Sure, Lima, clay. Sure, Lima, clay. Oh, Shirley MacLaine. Un is the contrary prefix. Sure, Lima, clay, un.
Right. That's how these are all done.
But I can't even get started.
What's the problem?
I just can't make any headway.
Talk to folks. Talk to everyone here. Most of them will be able to hand you some clue or another, and there's no penalty for wrong answers, so feel free to guess all you want.
Maybe I'm supposed to use the chalk on this. This is extra fine chalkboard repellent chalk. I know how I did the other one, it's just, you know, they don't really want to... Its trains in Chicago are known as L's. I kind of know that. I'm just trying to do this puzzle. Chalkboard repellent chalk. They make such a thing?
About the curse.
Jake,
Oh,
and you're...
shut up. I can...
Yeah. I can... They're already his. You're borrowing them. Borrowing them. Got it? Hey, bud. How's it hanging?
Me, Jake. You know kill I. Okay?
Sure, man. No problem. Chill. Oh, okay.
Feeling any better?
My head doesn't hurt as much, if that's what you mean.
What do you want to do about Sasha?
The Stepford wife.
We just have to get all the components together. We don't have the tears, and we don't have the Mako root.
It doesn't seem to be doing us any good being in here, so... Maybe she can tell me something that I don't already know.
Oh, it's you. Listen, I'm beginning to think you're maybe not such a werewolf after all.
Why not?
Well, turn around. Let me look at you.
I'm tired of turning around. I came here to get away from that.
Well, what? You don't get any more or less hairy than this? You just stay at this in-between level?
This is not my in-between level.
Fine, you're right.
Okay.
Oh, it's you.
I've made a little progress getting the anti-cursulent ingredients together.
I need all three, the Tanner, the Mako, and the tears. So, you look thin. Have you had your tarot read lately? Or a card trick? You like card tricks?
Not really.
Okay, then I'll just show you the 6 best ones I know.
Over the next 10 minutes, you are asked to deal out the deck 4 times, memorize 6 different cards, and count off 5 packets of various sizes, and politely refrain from commenting or visibly flinching at the bad sleight of hand.
Now, let me get my little sponge rabbit friends.
While her concentration is momentarily turned elsewhere, you hurl yourself out of the vortex and break the spell. Slowly, the world returns to normal.
Oh, it's you.
Do you have the address for Sasha?
I can't give that out anymore. We used to be able to. Then the whole Nancy Reagan thing, and from then on it was confidential and psychic client privilege and the whole schmear.
The ledger is already open. You reach for the ledger, but the old gypsy woman smacks you on the knuckles.
Hey, busybody.
Yeah.
Oh, it's you.
What do you really know about Mr. Eisenstadt?
Listen, I know what I need to know. His wives used to tell me everything.
His wives?
Yes, all 18 of them. Such nice ladies. Such terrible fates.
What happened?
Oh, it was different in each case. Very sad. Prime of life, each and every one of them. Unforeseeable. But you know, I think every one of them had life insurance, so he's not only available, he's wealthy. And it doesn't take a psychic to know a good thing when you see it.
I'll take your word on it.
Master, Squire, what can I do for you then?
Lead on, Macduff.
You can tell me why you can't answer me directly.
That'd be playing the raw prawn, sir. I wouldn't want to do that to you.
It would be what?
Playing the raw prawn, sir. I wouldn't want you accusing me of, you know, lifting the large shell, wink wink.
What does that mean?
I'm just trying to...
Piotr,
He just wants you to leave the tail off the kite, as it were, Jake. Don't worry about him. Where do you want him to take us?
To the castle, I guess.
A short while later, you find yourselves back at Castle Florescu. Piotr leads the way into the castle.
Hello, Chives. Jake and I found each other.
I'm very happy for you, sir. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Chives, stop deliberately misunderstanding me.
Very well, sir. Are you in for the evening, sir?
No, we've just stopped back to see if there's anything Jake has forgotten.
Very good, sir.
Is there?
I don't think so, sir. He's taken just about everything he could possibly carry.
Good. Jake, are we ready to go?
Almost. I just want to check and make sure.
May I help you, sir?
Are you also basically like a concierge?
Why? Did you want me to make a dinner reservation for you?
No, I was just wondering what you do here. I mean, Pyotr is away all the time. So do you just make sure the house is clean and the garden is weeded?
Maintaining a castle is not easy, as I'm sure Master Pyotr will attest to. The rest of the time, I volunteer my services to the Visiting Nurse Association.
You're a nurse?
No, I visit them. May I help?
Are you also...
Yeah, same conversation, so he's not of much help. The parcels are wrapped in many sheets of a fibrous paper and tied tightly with string. Opening them would mean finding a knife and slitting and tearing and making a whole production out of it, while no doubt stepping over the line of rudeness while you're a guest in somebody else's home. Ugh, they're heavy.
If I remember correctly, I wouldn't get too close to that fire, you.
What?
I said, if I remember correctly, I wouldn't get too close to that fire if I were you.
Oh, okay.
The heck is wrong with you, Nemeth? Your alarms are going off. You knock gently on the crate. From inside the crate, a couple of voices whisper excitedly. There's a sharp creak, the whispering stops, and you think you can hear the sound of footsteps receding up a stairway. A moment later, you hear a small door slamming closed, a veiled curse, and the sound of a toilet being flushed. The steps approach again, there's some throat clearing, rustling of fabric, and somebody bumping into something, and then somebody says, there's nobody in here.
What's in that tall crate?
Oh, that's my Cheech and Chong collection.
Well, one of the albums is playing itself.
What? There's no albums in there, just Cheech and Chong.
The crate is securely nailed shut, needing much longer fingernails. Ah, stop trying to quit.
Master.
Lead on.
Well, with dubious looks for both of you, the driver transports you back to downtown Florescu. The trap screeches to a halt in the middle of town.
Out you go, sir.
He steps down, opens the door, gets into the carriage with you, grabs you by the shoulder, shakes you violently, stuffs you into the window, gets out, pulls you through from the other side, chases you out, brushes you off, and climbs up.
That's got it, sir. See you by and by. I'll be resting right here when you're done.
You would make a good masseuse. That was surprisingly pleasant.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Ah, that makes more sense. The stone well marks the center of town. You start to climb into the well. Pyotr stops you, points out the moisture-free condition of the well, and prevents you from making a fool of yourself.
Thanks. Now we're even.
You see, Pyotr was once involved in a paternity suit, and you convinced Pyotr to get a blood test, even though he was dead against it, to prove that he wasn't really the father of the child. Talk about nearly making a faux pas. Sigh. F-A-U-X. I'm spitting in place, I'm spitting in place.
I'd be happy to...
What's your problem?
What do you mean?
Well, you're obsessed with eating me. You got a one-track mind.
No, I don't have a mind. If I did, I wouldn't want yours so bad. So won't you please share it with me?
You expect me to feel sorry for you?
Aw, come on, man. Give me some skin.
No.
Alright, so you're not helpful at all. See ya. Brendel is highly competitive and won't be giving you any clues. The repo man glances at the blackboard, turns back to you, and tells you that Faye is an acronym for punched in the head. That's one I've never heard. It's very odd to see Death himself talking about synonyms. Under her breath, the demoness clues you in that lean is also like. The invisible man clears his throat, which you think is clear to begin with, and tells you that an aromatic organic compound is an ester. The werewolf snarls at you that something white with age is also described as hoary. Buster, principally working on the riddle contest, tells you that when something's spoiled, it's considered to have gone off. Pig smiles and oinks and goes back to snuffling around the floor for food. No, it's not going to give me any clues, I guess. You try to engage the Fugado in conversation, but it shoos you away. You're obviously disturbing its train of thought, although tricycle of thought is probably much more accurate. Oh, excuse me. You can't take the root. It's in the bottle, which is in the Fugado's giant claw. Slushing around the bottom of the bottle is a bulbous greenish-purple tuber. Undoubtedly, you make it. I keep hitting the wrong damn button. You reach out to grab the bottle of schnapps, deliberately ignoring the fact that a huge, strong creature is holding on to it. The bottle does not shift a millimeter in his grasp. Fugado turns and looks at you, and you feel your bowels turn to jelly. He holds the bottle out towards you. You want some? Thinking he's offering the bottle, you reach out and try to grab it. Not the whole bottle. Do you want a drink or not? You slowly latch onto the fact that he's simply offering you a drink, not the entire bottle.
Oh, no, thanks.
And they don't bother to translate that part. You ask the elf if he's working on the puzzles, and he replies that he is. You ask him for a clue, and he tells you that permeable is probably porous. You barely hear him through the wrapping, but he mutters about a shiv being the same thing as a dirk. The hag merely mumbles something about grist being another word for brain. The lady, chewing her lip over the puzzles, asks you if you think fluffiness is cush. You tell her it probably is. The strange bulbous creature tells you that he's deduced that otherwise is else. The lizard has opted out of the riddle night questions, which is catch him on flying night. The lizard has also done the same thing. The vampire cocks an eyebrow at you and says, I know what you want. Listen to me. Moss is the main component of peat. That's great. The bouncer growls at you and that as far as he's concerned, a manta is a kind of ray, as in stingray. In fact, as he goes on to tell you, some of his best friends are rays. The vampire says nothing, but you hear a lovely feminine voice in your head saying, Earl is a member of British nobility. The homunculus is working on the puzzles, and he lets you in on the fact that snug is probably cozy. The griffin glances at you out of the corner of his eye and says under his breath, a bid is an offer, pass it along. The sloop-jawed beast whispers to you in confidence that he happens to know the famous marks in the riddle night contest is actually Colin. The golem, dully staring at the chalkboard, manages to verbalize that a $5 bill is often called a pin. The witch is mulling under the puzzles, but isn't having much luck. However, she's certain that a moisturizing plant is aloe. The little munchkin love children, startled by your bizarrely human appearance, tremble at the sound of your voice. The witch tries to soothe them with gentle words and stress them out. Well, so that's everybody in here. Giant moisturizing plant snug. Aloe cozy. Steel is probably a chain. Permeable is porous. Boris Karloff. Okay, Boris Karloff. Rain bid wind shelter. Christopher Lean. Well, that's Grist Offer, so that's Christopher. And if it's horror, it's probably Christopher Lee, but I don't know how you get Lee out of wind shelter. Cornell Water? I don't know Cornell Water. Otherwise, one aromatic alcohol. Organic kind. Fluffiness is Kush. So Dirk Kush. Link? That one is Pete Earl, so it's Peter, but white with age? That's a weird one. Well, okay, Finn Cent Price is Vincent Price. Touched in the head is Faye, so that's Faye Ray. Am I supposed to actually be able to solve these, or...? I mean, they're fun and all, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I'm having...
What? So ask
somebody who knows more than you do. Yeah, we gone around that a few times, Dark link steel, leg joint, Lon Chaney Jr. That's Bell Aloe Cozy, Bella Lugosi. Permeable failures. Boris Karloff. Christopher Lee. That's L Law Ton. But I don't know what Bernal Lawton doesn't mean anything to me. Otherwise, one lean aromatic organic compound is an ester. Other is one. See, that's Pete Dirk Cushing. Peter Cushing. We already know that's Peter something. But I don't know white with age. He's got the makeover, which is...
What Jake must do, Fugato give Jake bottle.
What's so important about the bottle?
Jake need Mako root. Mako root in bottle.
Sounds good. You give us the winning answers and we'll give you the root out of the bottle.
Me have riddle answer for Fugato, me think.
Oh, there we go. Well, we already did this one. This is Bella Lugosi. This is Lon Chaney Jr. This is Boris Karloff. Grain Bid Wind Shelter. Christopher Lee. Otherwise, one aromatic. See, that one I still don't know. Get back up there. This is Peter Cushing. This is Peter... I don't know. Peter Lorre? Hoary. When you get light with age, you're hoary. Pete Earl Hoary. Ay, ay, ay. Brain engaged all of a sudden. We know this is Vincent Price. How should I spell his name right? Touched in the Head Mantras Fay Ray. It is. It's just I just. Alright, seriously, I got it. It is though. There we go. Didn't know how to spell it. Yeah, bees all over the place. Bees! Well, scorch is burn or char. That last name is Lawton. It's L. Lawton. Scorch, char. Well, let's... As you leave, you steal a glance back at the Fugado. It's impossible for you to tell what he's thinking, but you suspect it's leaving already? Okay, you and me in the parking lot after the contest. Let's see. They're L's. It's got that one. Face touched in the head. Something white is described as hoary. An aromatic organic compound is an ester. Lean is also lank. Ah, lean is also lank. Did I already get that one?
Me.
Okay, so that's Esther, so it's Lancaster. I'm trying to think of a horror actress, or actor. Lancaster. Otherwise, lean. Otherwise, one. My mouse pointer backwards, thank you. Brain. Otherwise, one being aromatic. Sport Chicago trains. Legal code, massive. That makes me want to say it's Charles Lawton. Yes, I didn't want to leave the puzzle.
You give. Me.
Otherwise, one lean aromatic compound. Organic compound. Otherwise. Maybe somebody out there knows. Early Will is probably porous. Shiv is a dirt. Wrist is grain. Chat, what's up? The ogre isn't thinking on any level that's going to help you with the contest. He's still reading the first clue. Ogre and ogre and ogre. Also meaning this is Kush. Otherwise it's else. Okay. I don't know that name.
Me.
But that's that one. Massive weight is a ton. Legal code is law. Chicago trains are L's, and the scorch is char, which means that it should be Charles Lawton. But it isn't. Let's... Yeah, a lot of buzz going on here today. Oh, that would explain that answer. It's spelled like that. Lawton. The Fugado waddles over to the bar and growls softly at Casimir, whose eyebrows shoot straight up off his head.
That is correct. We have a winner.
The crowd goes mildly up for grabs as the Fugado do a dance of glee around you.
Don't hurt me. Not the face. Ouch!
A promise is a promise. The lead Fugado throws the bottle of schnapps into the fireplace and then walks over and retrieves the Mako root. He shakes the ashes and broken glass from the root and drops it into your waiting hands.
Thank you.
Come on back next week, will you? We like winning honestly for a change. Or at least, sort of honestly.
What? This is the first time you've spoken to me like a normal human being.
Yeah, well, you started it. Till you started getting these riddles right. We thought you were a moron.
He's right, Mike. You did kind of do that to yourself.
What do you want? We just have to...
We do have the Mako root dipstick.
We've got the Tana leaves and the Mako root, but how are we going to get tears?
When you can't feel any emotion, what makes you cry?
Chopping onions?
Allergies? Physical pain?
You guys feel pain and sneeze and so on?
Don't be a schmuck.
Hey.
Master, Squire.
Lead on.
The gypsy woman's?
She's right over there, sir.
The driver leans over and gives an exaggerated wink to the old gypsy woman, who returns it.
Hello there!
Hello to you, Mr. Eisenstadt.
Call me Lumpkin.
Oh, you? Did I tell you to give me this?
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
I'm sorry, I can't keep it straight. 80 years ago, I remember like it was this morning. This morning, I remember like it was 80 years ago. What was it for? I need all three, the Tana, the Mako, and the tears. So, you look thin. Have you had your tarot read lately? Or a card trick?
No.
You sure?
Yes.
That's only because you've never seen me do card. Now,
Now that the old gypsy woman has her ledger sitting out, you can not only see the scrawled details of the spell on Sasha, but her address as well, 1313 Resting Place. When in doubt, stop by their resting place.
Master,
Lead on.
1313 Resting Place.
Redstein Lane. I'll have you there in 2 snaps of a tendon.
True to his word, he negotiates the narrow, twisted cobblestone streets and, 10 minutes later, pulls up in front of a very large, immaculate house on a tall hill. You and Piotr get out and knock on the door.
Yes?
Sasha, before you slam the door in my face, can you wait a moment?
You're looking a little better.
Thank you.
Please do come in. Ziv is not home from university yet, but I'm expecting him shortly. Mr. Stonebender, how lovely to see you again. Please do come in.
She leads the way and softly closes the door behind you. Sasha nervously asks you if you're actually a werewolf.
Is that a problem?
She remarks quietly that she has an allergy. You rub your hand hard on the thigh of your jeans, scraping off almost the entire pentagram, and display it to her.
It's one of those temporary things. I'm not really lupine.
She cocks her head and gives you an odd look, but she quickly suppresses it and leads you further inside. The house is spectacular if you like the feeling of living in a museum. The decor is impeccable, the furnishings are genuine classics. But as a house, it's cold and unpleasant, with a heavy, musty smell and a general atmosphere of lifelessness.
Please follow me.
You and Pyotr accompany Sasha to a cavernous living room, and she gestures to a small divan with plastic slipcovers. You take up position, but you both wait to sit until Sasha herself sits.
Feeling better?
Yes.
Nobody is quite sure what to say next.
Ziv is due back from university any moment now. I'm sure he'll be glad to see you.
That's a lie.
Please, Pyotr, let's not.
Not what?
I don't think you came here to bicker with me. Perhaps I'm wrong.
Pyotr thinks about this for a moment.
No, you're right. We're here to try to prove something.
Really?
Pyotr looks over to you. You swallow uncomfortably. Here, have this old photo. Just about no one in this hemisphere understands the significance of your photo. You're not very inclined to discuss it with people you just met. Well, let's talk to her.
Mr. Stonebender?
This is a magnificent home.
Well, thank you. It's been in my husband's family for generations, as has my husband.
The slipcovers are an unusual choice.
The furniture is antique, and certain kinds of stains are nearly impossible to remove.
Aha.
Sasha and Pyotr go back to their hushed reminiscences.
Mr. Stonebender?
Did you know I had to get a curse mark to get into Casimir's?
Jake, ixnay on the Urs marquee.
It's quite all right, Pyotr. I don't mind discussing them. I wear mine proudly, even if it is predominant.
May I ask what it's for, or is that outside the bounds of propriety here?
Not at all. You know I'm a vampire, right?
Yeah, but that's not your
Sasha cuts Pyotr off with a glance.
Of course it is.
It was on your left.
You can't be expected to remember it after all this time. You're thinking of the small scar.
Pyotr gapes at Sasha, then turns to you and shakes his head. Sasha smoothly changes the subject and quietly asks Pyotr about America.
Mr.
Work 'em. The drawer looks perfectly ordinary. There's nothing obvious on or around the desk. You'll have to examine the drawers individually.
Please, Mr. Stonebender, I have some personal items in those drawers that I'd rather keep private.
By the time she's finished speaking, you've returned to the divan and your ears are bright red. You spotted a lovely statuette of death with a clock in its stomach. You got enough clocks at home, and they're all a lot less morbid than this one. It's a Grecian urn. No, really, it is, and if you're playing with someone else in the room, we've just given you a beautiful setup. Go nuts! The urn is not on your current list of things to find, nor will it help you to find anything on your current list of things to find. It's good that you're letting the anger out. It's bad that you're taking it out on other people's furniture. You pick up the urn off the top of the desk and peer inside. You can't see anything, so you reach inside. All you feel there are a lot of pebbly rocks and coarse sand.
Would you kindly put Mother back on the shelf?
Oopsie. This trinket looks like a little green porcelain man riding a big green porcelain scorpion.
I think that's a porcelain miniature antique stovetop.
You're not even sure what this is, let alone whether or not you have a reason to take it.
Please, Mr.
A big bowl of unusually dark roses sits in the center of the table. You don't need a bowl of roses, even though the old gypsy woman wouldn't give you squat for them. Even the roses reek of rot. The only arrangement you'd find acceptable for these flowers is for them to be buried at the bottom of a salt mine and covered over with concrete. That's pretty harsh, my friend. The table looks like another fabulously expensive antique. You get up and do a slow, casual 360 around the table, but other than the flowers and the bowl bearing, nothing catches your eye. Ooh, big yawn, big yawn. Perhaps Ziv and Sasha believe that vacuum packing their chairs will keep them fresher longer. You sit in the chair for a moment, long enough to get the sensation of sitting on leftovers. An urn sits on the sideboard. You've got more urns at home than you know what to do with. In fact, you don't know what to do with a single one of them. Some fetid water is pooled in the bottom of the urn.
The roof has a leak.
A large sideboard sits gathering dust. Instinctively, you draw a line through the dust with your fingers. You hurriedly wipe off the entire surface with your shirt to erase your doodling. Moments later, you can see the dust start to settle again. Other than the urn and the dust, the sideboard is bare. Lots to look at here. It's nice to see that Sasha and Ziv are contemporary enough to have a signed portrait of Patrick Stewart. Yay! You'd take the picture of Patrick Stewart home with you, but only the painting you already have of William Shatner would get all insecure and huffy. Under the guise of examining the autograph, you pull the painting forward, allowing you to glimpse the wall behind the painting. There is nothing behind the painting. It's a lesser-known Norman Rockwell scene, caught necking in the front seat. Boy, do those rosy-cheeked kids look surprised, and just look at Dad pulling off his belt while Mom stands by with the cookies. You've already got a Norman Rockwell at home, that quaint scene with the parachute that won't open and the surprised rosy-cheeked paratrooper. There's no way you're going to fool Sasha, so rather than try to sneak a look behind the painting, you decide to brazen it out.
Anything behind that painting?
No.
I'm going to take your word for that.
That's good. It's good that you know how to take words. It's painted beautifully, but the subject, child with razor, is a little on the macabre side. You've already got some art at home. This portrait would only be obscured by the brilliance of the poker-playing dogs on velvet carpeting. You move the portrait away from the wall. Behind it is more wall. This is either an original Maxfield Parrish or the original artwork for the White Rock Girl.
That's the White Rock girl during her cream soda period. It has a great sentimental value to both Ziv and myself.
Whatever. Jake Stonebender, itinerant folk singer, art thief. I don't think so.
You lean your head against the wall for a moment, ostensibly because you're tired, but really because you went to look between the wall and the painting.
There's nothing back there, Mr. Stonebender.
Where? Oh, behind the painting? No, I was just resting. It's been a long day.
Would you care to lie down for a while?
No.
A beautiful portrait of Sasha is hung on the wall. Even though the painting looks very old, she looks almost the same age today. Leave it where it's hung. It's an heirloom. Which is sort of like a loom that doesn't exist, but you pretend to use it. Same idea as an air guitar. You take a surreptitious glance behind the painting. You can just make out something protruding from the wall, something like a nail, and there's wires leading from the frame of the painting to the nail. In fact, the painting seems to be hung on the nail with some wire. That's about the most exciting thing you'll find behind any of these paintings.
Say, this is an original production cell from Pinocchio.
It would be such a pain to have to carry it back home with you. There's nothing behind the painting except cleaner wallpaper. This is an original Bruegel, circa 1550, from his early How Many Things Can You Find Wrong with This Painting period. You don't need this painting. If you ever need to find out how many things you can find wrong with a picture, you can always head down to the dentist's office and borrow a Highlights for Children. You trot into the dining room and quickly look behind the Bruegel. Look, there's an original Martin Mole right behind it. The painting depicts Napoleon getting caught by Josephine in the act of kissing a servant girl. Smile, you're on candid canvas. You really hate the frame. The candid canvas is way too high off the ground to move. Then again, maybe if you casually stood on the dining room table... The overstuffed armchairs looks like they'd be cozy if they were deplasticized. It suddenly occurs to you that the furniture may have plastic slipcovers because bloodstains are so difficult to get out of the fine upholstered furniture. The thought does not cheer you. You walk back to the stuffed chairs and sit in one of them. Sure enough, they're chairs.
I believe she's the original girl from the Sun-Made Raisins box.
No,
St. Pauli girl?
definitely not. How about the Land O'Lakes girl?
No, she's Native American. Wouldn't be Mrs. Paul, would it?
Rose Totino?
Betty Crocker?
Sarah Lee?
Mrs. Stouffer?
It's definitely not Mrs. Butterworth. I don't want to play anymore.
It's Mama Celeste. She was quite the looker when she was young.
Where would you put your crying clown picture? My god, this room, it is so full. Why does a vampire have a toilet? Vampires don't poop. You can quote me on that one, boy. Vampires don't poop. By Flynn Church. A new mystery novel. Rooms, and more rooms are visible on the second floor. Ordinarily, you'd be curious, but knowing the house is owned by vampires makes you just a little less anxious to see what lies behind them. It's one thing to poke around the room while Sasha's gone, but it's a whole nother level of danger to go exploring through the house, especially when you don't know how soon Sasha's coming back. Sasha is right next to me, so yay for the wrong dialogue. Besides, you're a little afraid of what you might find. At least a dozen people could sit comfortably at this table, but it looks like it's not used very much. Except for a couple of candelabras, the dining room table is cleared off. Tall back chairs ring the dining room table. You dash into the dining room and throw yourself onto one of the chairs. Somehow they're even more uncomfortable than the slip-covered divan, so you reseat yourself in the living room. More paintings! You look closely at the exquisite portrait and are taken by surprise.
Say, that Jackson Pollock could really paint. When he wanted to.
Oh, he didn't want to. We had to coerce him.
You don't have enough wall space for a painting that size. It's not that big. You move the painting aside and glance behind it, but you see nothing special.
My God. The dog in this painting, the doggy of Dorian Gray, is hideously old and wrinkled. Oh, wait, that's a Shar-Pei.
Great, so you'll take it home, and the older and more wrinkled you get, the better the dog will look? Raw deal. There's nothing behind the picture of the doggy of Dorian Gray, except to make a cruel joke about Shar-Peis. The painting depicts the infamous Battle of Barnes and Noble, one of the bloodiest borders disputes on the books. Hacha! Boy, that's dated humor. Of course, this is a 20-year-old game. 15 years old this year. You can't take the painting. Oh, that wasn't a great line. You can't move the painting. It's as if it's painted right into the background. Twin candelabras give the dining room a soft glow that would be romantic if it weren't for the company. Wait. Oh, okay, it is spelled right. Take the candelabra. No message. Extinguish. Better not. It might be some sort of Sabbath or Black Sabbath or some vampire holiday. Sasha's house is an odd mixture of grandiosity and disuse. Much of it is beautiful, or would be, were it not dim and thick with dust. Strange that anyone would choose to surround herself with so much beauty and yet not take the trouble to perform even the most routine maintenance. Look at the commode. An old commode is visible through the bathroom door.
No thanks. I took care of that while you weren't looking.
Thank you. Thank you a lot, Jake. Josephine the plumber has never looked more radiant. You can't take the painting. You can't move the painting. It's as if it was painted right onto the background. The mirror is ludicrously dusty. That's understandable, since it probably doesn't get much use. An ornate vanity with a rich patina stands in the lavatory. Other than a hairbrush and a few bobby pins, there's nothing in the vanity. An ornate hairbrush sits on the vanity in the lavatory. You excuse yourself and go into the lavatory, shutting the door behind you. Under the cover of the flush of the commode and the running water in the sink, you slip the hairbrush into your pocket, vowing to return it later. Hopefully you weren't vowing too loudly. The door separates the foyer from the rest of the hallway. You perform your old favorite, shave and a haircut. Sasha and Pyotr are unimpressed. You slip into the front hallway and test the door. It closes. It opens. It does it all. As you head out the door, Piotr calls after you.
I'm staying here, Jake.
Fine.
And it is fine if they're not alone together. If they're alone together, maybe they can work something out. Certainly not going to happen with you there. You walk down the hall and out into the front courtyard where the driver awaits.
At your service, sir.
Back into town.
Back to town, please, Mr. Eisenstadt. Piotr is staying here.
Off we go, sir.
I have a plan. Whistling a funeral march, the driver heads back into town. In the town square, the driver climbs down from the trap and stands next to it. Without apparent effort, he lifts up that side of the trap and shakes it violently, spilling you onto the cobblestones. He drops the trap, climbs back up, dusts off his hands, and affably tips his hat at you. Man of a million tasks. A million abilities, I swear. Alright, well there's a werewolf here. I have a hairbrush. You run the brush a few times through the werewolf's coarse fur. The werewolf purrs softly, obviously enjoying the sensation. When you have a brush full of authentic werewolf dander, you stop. The werewolf runs forlorn. I just brushed a werewolf in an adventure game. I feel weird having done this. I feel very weird having done this.
Yes, sir.
Alright, take me back to Sasha's.
The 1313 address.
I'll hurry this along, sir. I'd like to get back downtown. I'm supposed to be meeting somebody in this person's transport.
Yes, you're gonna go fuck the gypsy woman. I know. You walk over to the divan you sat down before, next to Piotr. Sasha's face begins to quiver as if she's got a tick in one cheek. Then she sneezes, a feathery little tshoo that makes you want to slap her around and insist that she get a real sneeze. And then she disappears. So now we can search the drawers. Now that Sasha's out of the room, you open the desk drawer. There's nothing in this particular drawer except dust and a few yellowed household papers. You shut the drawer again, being careful not to make any noise doing so. Same thing. Same thing. Same thing. Your search only turns up only a lock. The lock prevents your search from being far more thorough. Your lockpicking skills are nil. You sit on the couch, and as you do, you feel a little something pressing against your leg. You raise your thigh and find a small plain key. Yay! You pull open the unlocked drawer. Inside is a small bundle of letters, something that looks like it used to be a flower, and a small vial with a couple of drops of clear fluid inside.
Piotr?
My letters. I can't believe she still has them.
What about these?
That flower. I'm not sure. I think I bought it for her on our first date. And the vial? Those are the tears from when she told me she was going to marry Ziv.
What a thing to say.
She used to be very romantic.
You nod your head. Well, we need the vial of tears. You take the vial, making sure the top is tightly closed, which it already was. You slip it into your pocket. The ink is faded. You could probably read these if you try, but in deference to Piotr and Sasha's privacy and the fact that they're both still walking around, if not actually still alive, you squelch your curiosity. Lock the drawer with the key. You slip the hairbrush into the drawer and then lock it back up. Then you put the key back in the couch. Perfect. Sasha will never know you've been messing with her deeply personal possessions. Although someday she'll wonder how that hairbrush got from the bathroom into a locked drawer.
I'm going to stay.
I know. I'll see myself out.
You walk down the hall and out into the front courtyard where the driver awaits.
At your service.
The gypsies, please.
Yes, sir.
Seeming as anxious as you are to get back to the gypsy woman, the driver immediately takes you to the downtown area.
King of Hot. Yeah.
The post-hypnotic suggestions one, I remember
Oh, it's you.
I've made a little progress.
I need all three. Or a call.
No.
Okay. Now.
that. Hit the wrong option. Whoopsie.
Oh, it's you. Listen,
I have all the anti-curselant ingredients.
Well, give them to me. Every second counts.
Why? Is there a time limit?
Yes, Sally Jesse comes on in 5 minutes.
Sally Jesse Raphael.
What are these?
Tears.
Okay, and
The anti-curselant. You don't remember?
I'm sorry, I can't keep it straight. It's no good unless I have... Have you had your...
No, not nearly enough.
You bow your head before the old gypsy woman, and she proceeds to meticulously touch your scalp all over. She makes lots of little noises of surprise and confusion as she identifies the bumps and furrows on your cranium.
You're next, Mr. Eisenstadt.
Oh, that'll take you all night with me, Mum. I got a lot of bumps.
That's all right, I don't mind.
1997. Yeah, that's back when I think Geraldo was still on.
Did I want a Mako root?
Yeah, remember? You just mentioned it a little while ago.
I'm sorry, I can't keep it. Well, give them to me every...
Why? Is there...
Yes, Sally... Wonderful. Everything I need for the anti-curselant is right here.
She bends down and turns around and gives you a wink.
I'm gonna mix it up right here in the sink.
Okay, something about turpentine. No, Donahue was off by 97, I'm pretty sure. I think Phil Donahue was dead by 1997, actually, because he's been dead a while. Oh, wait, no, Phil Donahue's still alive. Oopsie! Yeah, he hadn't actually been off that long, huh? Donahue got canceled in 96. It looks like India ink. No, it doesn't. It looks like Tabasco sauce. It smells like turpentine. You say goodbye to the gypsy and turn your attention elsewhere.
Yes?
So,
In your absence, Sasha's husband Ziv has returned. He, Sasha, and Pyotr are at the dinner table making strained conversation, which tastes as good as it sounds.
Ziv, I'd like you to meet Jake Stonebender, Pyotr's friend from the United States.
You reach out to shake hands with Ziv, and Ziv proffers his own. His hand is cold and rock solid.
nice to meet you.
The pleasure is mine.
Am I interrupting anything?
We were going to eat, but it seems I'm the only one with an appetite tonight. Sasha, how about some wine for our guests?
Sasha stands, but you hold your hand up.
Thanks anyway. I'm not having any right now.
Me either.
Just me again, I guess.
Ziv goes back to finishing his dinner while Sasha waits for his next command. Pyotr seems furious and frustrated. Yes. Sasha either doesn't know about or is in denial of her own accursedness. Besides, that's not her beverage of choice. Wait. Give it to Pyotr. Pyotr takes a whiff of the stuff and declines vigorously. I have an idea. You pop the lid off the vial, hold your nose, close your eyes, and take a drink. Then you dramatically fling the vial away and, legs akimbo, wipe the corner of your mouth with the back of your hand. God, you've never felt so alive. That's weird. So I'll offer a little blood to Sasha. In a gesture of goodwill, you offer your wrist to Sasha. Pyotr once explained that in polite Transylvanian society, a human will offer his wrist, or in more intimate circumstances his neck, to a vampire that the vampire may choose to drink or not. If the vampire chooses to drink, he or she must not draw enough blood to harm the human or turn him undead. This supposedly constitutes an offer and anticipated acceptance of a trust between the two. The vampire is not to take unfair advantage of the human's weak will and fragile life, and the human is not to open the vampire's coffin in direct sunlight or drive any large objects through his heart. Okay, that screwed up. Again, though she asks for the other hand in order not to overtax the other. She punctures the skin expertly, sucks gently, swallows, and laps at your wrist to catch the last drops, and thanks you. You can see the moment that the anti-cursulant first hits her. She gazes wordlessly at Ziv for a few moments.
What? What's the matter? Sasha, control yourself.
Sasha looks for a moment as if she's going to scream at Ziv, but instead she draws her hands back and slaps him across the face. Very, very hard. Ziv, without hesitation, slams his fist into Sasha's face, and I think you hear a crunch. Pyotr is already in motion, but not fast enough to protect Sasha from Ziv's punch. As Sasha crumples to the ground, Ziv grabs Pyotr by the neck and throws him onto the table. Ziv wraps his hands around Pyotr's neck and pulls. It's as if he's not trying to choke Pyotr, but trying to actually separate Pyotr's head from his body. Look at that high-resolution fighting. Pyotr keeps struggling, and Ziv keeps trying to press his advantage. You daringly crawl on your belly to the dining room and snatch the fallen steak bone from the floor. You crouch by her and press the steak bone into her hand. Ziv bites her lower lip, puncturing it hard, and gets to her feet. I'm guessing that hurt.
Why?
Figure it out, Professor. That's what I did.
Wow.
Don't you know red meat is bad for your heart, baby?
Pyotr, are you okay?
Sure. I'm not strong, but I'm wiry.
Pyotr?
Sasha, would you come with me?
Oh, Pyotr, I can't. I mean it.
Excuse me, I'll be outside.
You kick her around the house. They're outside the house for a while, talking to the trap driver about everything except vampires, mummies, werewolves, and B-movies. Pyotr comes out after a while, alone. The two of you climb into the trap and head back to Pyotr's castle. On the way, Pyotr doesn't say anything, but the two of you know that he can tell you anything when he's ready, and you'll be ready to listen. Early in the next evening, Pyotr asks you if you're ready to head back to Kanzer, Long Island.
You coming with?
Guess so.
So, the two of us.
She says she doesn't know herself. Hasn't been herself in 50 years. Wants to learn to fly again, she says. Spend some time alone. You know.
It's a chick trip.
Yeah, I know. But I was hoping.
Hey, you got your whole life ahead of you.
No. My whole life is behind me. My whole death is in front of me.
Pyotr packs a few things and has a brief conversation with Chives behind closed doors. When he comes out, he joins you in the trap and directs the driver to Werewolves.
We picking up snacks for the trip home?
We can if you want, but we'll be home in a few minutes.
Explain.
Didn't you see the time machine?
Yeah, but it wasn't working.
Did you plug it in?
I didn't think of it.
You're gonna love this.
You arrive at Werewolves and follow Pyotr inside. He kneels down behind the time machine and plugs it in. Then he slips a coin into the slot and piles into the machine.
Come on. Come on, Jake. Attaboy.
Why not?
Pyotr sets the controls for his house, where you left your truck, and on the same evening you stowed away. When he pushes the button, the time machine rocks in place for a couple of minutes, laboring under the weight of two adults and not going anywhere. Peter whacks the side of the machine, and a split second later, you're sitting in Pyotr's driveway. The two of you climb into your truck and drive the few blocks back to Callahan's. Oh yes, you've also returned all of Pyotr's magic tricks to him along with your Starbucharist chalk, and you even put a brand new coat hanger in your old truck.
20 minutes. Jake, see, I knew you were something of a private dick. That's why I knew you were the man for the job. Pyotr, good to see you. Everything okay at home?
I think so.
Good. A drink?
Ginger ale.
You got it.
We're going to come back to Call of Cthulhu later. I'm trying to... Excuse me, still trying to get the CD version to actually work right. Because the floppy version is missing things and was really running badly. And, well, one of the things that happens to be missing is mouse support, which was annoying the fuck out of me. So, we have finished Pyotr's chapter. That is Pyotr done. One chapter down, and I don't actually know how many to go. Where's Mike? That's Doc Webster. That's Mickey Finn. That's the weird biker dude. That's Thor. Oh, there's Mike.
Good job, Jake. You couldn't have done it without us.
So, what now?
What now? Well, that's up to you. There's a lot going on tonight.
Such as?
Well, let's see. Josie's all in a snit over something. You could see what that's all about. We've got the 2 drop-ins. They could probably use some chatting up. Or you could go see what's keeping Piotr.
Okay, I'll do some talking.
You all come back.
That's the exact same thing he said before, so...
Hey, Jake. Now you've got something to tell the grandchildren. I figure I owe you my afterlife a couple of times over.
Hey, you've done your share of life-saving around here. More than your share.
You refer not only to the several thousand rides home he's given inebriated Callahasians, but also to the time he saved Tommy Jansen from a drug overdose by literally sucking the life back into him.
And you'd also have to thank Mike, without whom I would not have ended up chasing you halfway around the world. And if you're going to thank Mike, then you have to thank Fast Eddie, and of course Mickey Finn saved the whole planet the night he first came in, and...
Thanks, anyway.
You're welcome. And you're right. I have something to tell my grandchildren. Maybe yours, too.
Piotr laughs and shakes his head as if to say it's a little late for that. Then he casts his eyes into his club soda, takes a sip, and settles a little further into his seat. Alright, well, let's see if I can get a conversation out of any of these drop-ins.
Yes, Jake.
So, now I'm a world traveler.
The ones in Transylvania, you seemed uncomfortable with them.
May I ask how you happened to come across that knowledge?
You answer my question first.
Yes, I was very much uncomfortable there. I'm not used to hanging out with predators.
It's understandable to be wary of what's different.
Well, that's the thing. They weren't really different. Not at all.
There was a great man who said, "We have met the enemy, and he is us."
Totally.
Well, that was Pogo. But it's still applicable.
Wait, yeah, it was Pogo. That would be from Walt Kelly's Pogo.
Yes, Jake.
Hey.
You were right.
You're doing...
That is exact.
He doesn't want to say anything I haven't already heard. I wonder if the stinky homeless guys will let him say anything. When you try to talk to this man, he casts his eyes downward as if to indicate that he'd rather not talk. You have no idea what his story is, but you may learn it eventually. Most people who find Callahans open up after a while. You have some money, my friend. Well, looks like it's Josie then.
Hi, Jake.
So, tell me again what you're proposing to do about this chocolate thing.
It's simple. Fax and Castaroga's offices are downtown. We'll just go down there and explain to them about the trees.
Why do you think they'll listen to you? You can't show them that brochure. They'll think you're a nut.
Well, if they don't listen to reason, we'll worry about that when the time comes. Are you with me? Come on, it'll be fun.
Sure, why not? Maybe we'll go down in history.
All right.
It's a wild goose chase, I tell you.
You ready to start, or do you want to stick around for a bit?
Ready when you are, JB.
Great. Say your goodbyes if you want, and let's get out of here.
Yep. What you guys will not probably remember from the earlier sessions is we're actually about to go try and save a number of chocolate trees from a pencil company that wants to level them all. Josie is a member of the Time Police. She travels through time and space, fixing shit. And, well, she needs me to go save chocolate. She was a time officer. She was a member of the Time Patrol, whatever, before Captain Jack Harkness. Future sight, friends. You step out of Callahan's and Josie follows right behind you.
As I'll ever be.
Follow me.
She walks down Callahan's driveway, not to 25A. You walk slowly behind her, curious as to why she's not taking your cycle or having you drive your truck. Josie hails a cab, and you run to join her as she climbs in. She has the driver take you to the nearest Long Island Railroad station, where she pays for tickets for the two of you to Penn Station. As you emerge from the dank, urine-scented subway, you're surprised to see daylight.
Hey, just how long were we on that train?
So I rewound the clock a few hours. I thought it would be nice to give ourselves a running start. Besides, I figure we should start at the top, at Fax and Castaroga, and see if we can't just do this the easy way.
Why'd we take the subway? Why not just zap us here? Or are the Time Police not supposed to take riders?
Time we can handle. Space, we're not quite there yet. I want to go from time to time, I can do it. I want to go from place to place, I have to hoof it just like everybody else.
Here I thought you could do anything.
No, I only do a few things, but I do them very, very well.
Yeah, weird is underplaying it just a little bit. If you've never read any of the Callahan's books, this is based on a series of short story collections and a few novels by Spider Robinson. They are actually really, really good books, and they're something you shouldn't, I don't recommend books very often. I don't like reading. But this is actually something I can really get into. It's a very, very well done story. Start off with Callahan's Crosstime Saloon, the book, not the game, and work your way upwards. He's kind of stopped writing them in recent years because he ran out of ideas, but the ones he's got are really, really excellent. So, let's see what we got here. The kid whining and shooting looks like a native. He's probably a photography student from NYU or Columbia or the New School.
Nice to see young people advancing.
Ouch. Why in the world would you expose your lousy sense of humor like that?
Sorry, it just lends itself to repeating. A negative, very good feeling from seeing someone with his focus find his role in life.
Uncle! Phew, aperture proud of yourself.
Scary? Not in the least. This is a comedy game. You ask the camera wielder what he's shooting. He looks at you as if you're completely dense and replies, "Film." Hoping the young man may choose to use you as a photographic subject, you try to swagger casually with a carefree, suave, and debonair air. Somehow you only succeed in looking drunken, sloppy, tired, loose-necked, and oblivious. It's nice to see that those 900 number line psychic services haven't put all the corner store mom and pop tarot readers out of business. Just to mess around with the woman's already slightly messed up mind, you explain to the woman that this fortune teller was investigated by the Alternative Psychic Readers Association Institute and found to be not really psychic. The APRI? She tells you that the Alternative Psychic Readers Accreditation Institute was discredited by the Absolutely Genuine Psychic Council and that no smart shopper should give them the time of day. Or even let them predict it. Okay. This keen-eyed shopper closely examines the posted credentials of the fortune teller. According to the list, the fortune teller is a member of the Professional Psychics Board, the Affiliated Psychics of America, and the Psychic Retailers Association. She's also a contributor to the non-profit Table Channeling channel and is a graduate of I Know All About You. Isn't it nice to see that consumers are learning how to shop smart? Wage of Vault. This must be Bertram, owner of Bertram Sushi Shack. He looks about as Japanese as Ahmed, the guy who runs your local Texas barbecue joint, looks Texan. This freshly sweating rollerblader has stopped to look at the window of the sushi restaurant and is checking out the marvelous plastic food displayed therein. The plastic raw tuna is looking especially shiny and surreal today. You walk over to Bertram and ask him how he can afford to sell sushi so cheap. He sighs and signals to you to come closer, leans over and whispers, "It's all chicken, tinted different colors." That makes me wonder about my local sushi joint all of a sudden, thanks. Tell the rollerblader to get off the sidewalk and into the potholes where he belongs. That's awesome. You offer to look into the future for the woman, and she looks at you appraisingly for a moment. She comments that you look like a psychic to her. Maybe the Messiah, but not a psychic. The neon sign is not nearly garish enough. Why, people a mile away will barely be able to read it. Oh, good God, it's Leader Larry. Sort of. The tags on the sunglasses bear little tags that say similar to those as seen on TV and explain except no imitations. These are the real amber blockers, TM, guaranteed to not fade, peel, crack, or split. Don't you just hate it when your sunglasses peel? Having had sunglasses actually peel, yes, I do hate it. The sign indicates that the sunglasses are half off. Best of all, they stay that way even after you bought them. You slip on a pair of purple mirrored dichromatic iridescent sunglasses.
Those are the latest looking sunglasses. They say, hey, clear the way. Badass coming through.
Really? I thought they said, help, I've been bitten by a radioactive horsefly.
Despite the incredible values offered by this charming out-of-the-way boutique, you don't want to spend what little cash you have on amber blockers. A slightly disoriented, half-blind gentleman, thin webs of skin over his eyes, is browsing by the sunglasses. In the process, he's touching each and every pair of them. The browser introduces himself as Ned Skate and explains that he needs sunglasses because of his webbed sight. His breath smells like a combination of hot links and Java. That's a joke that's going to fly over the head of most everybody who's less than 20 years old, but otherwise, those of us who used Netscape are going to be rubbing our foreheads in agony. It kind of makes you want to Earl, except that that's properly pronounced URL, so the joke doesn't really work, but I'll let you have that one. He'd like to help, but he didn't come with documentation. You notice that the Braves have a new politically correct logo, so do the LA Snipers and the New York Gangbangers. A slip-on cap emblazoned with the logo for the Florida tourists. The bullseye in front makes you nervous, though, so you quickly remove it. Oh, I remember those days with the bump and kill down in Florida, where they were knocking tourists off the road, pulling them out of their cars and shooting them. It's not awesome. You never buy baseball caps. You can never remember whether they're worn with the brim in front or in back, and what that says about your sexuality. Here's the shopkeeper's description of himself from the personals column. TWM, Tom Selleck look-alike, 47 who looks 30, brown hair, eyes, height, weight, proportional, loves the outdoors, travel, animal, quiet times, ISO S/WDF, 20 to 35, must be trim and attractive, blondes, preferred photo a must. Single divorced white female, and he's a divorced white male. Okay. Not aiming high or nothing, are you there, Larry?
Where can I get an outfit like yours?
Independently owned and operated, my friend.
I mean the outfit you're wearing.
One of a kind. You can't get these anymore. Saw this guy on the computer wearing one of these and said, hey, sharp. Had to have this made special.
So you did buy... Oh, God. You bought Leisure Suit, Larry's Leisure Suit.
I'm from the State Attorney General's office.
Get out of here.
I am.
Every bum who comes around here says he's from the State Attorney General's office. Thinks I'm going to give him money for booze. You're the fifth one today. Get out of here.
Josie, what do I tell this guy?
Tell him you're with the FBI.
Hey, I'm not really from the State Attorney General. I'm FBI.
Knock it off.
Don't make me have to prove it.
Right. You know how many so-called FBI agents I get in here every day? In fact, I don't care if you're with the FBI or not. I don't got any hookers here, and I can't arrange anything.
So what do I do now?
Pretend you're CIA.
You flash your wallet quickly at the shopkeeper.
All right, sir. I'm Agent Skulder, CIA. This is my partner, Agent Mully.
You're CIA?
That's right, sir.
Okay. You gotta go to Phil's place. He's got the store, same location, next block down. He's got everything you asked for. The nitrous oxide, the anteater, the rotating brushes. He says it's all taken care of.
Well, he believed me anyway.
Oh, what?
Do you have any special sales today?
Everything.
You mean everything's on sale?
No, we're having a sale on everything. Every sale's different. The sunglasses are half off, the t-shirts are 2 for 1, the sweaters are reduced 50%, and if you buy a mug, you get a second one for a penny. So, how much you get off depends on how much you have, on what you want.
I could make French fries and how greasy you are.
I'm looking for something in particular.
What?
A statuette of Liberty.
Which one?
I want one where she's holding up a green card, or some sort of fake ID.
We got one where she'll hold your TV remote.
No.
We got one where she holds up a tiny baseball cap imprinted with the tiny image of a t-shirt with an incy-wincy mug printed on it, and there are really tiny sunglasses on the mug that say, New York, in very, very tiny letters.
Nope.
Well, that's the best I can do for you. They discontinued the ones with the green cards.
Wow, that's a lot of options. I don't think I'm going to go through all of them
I'm
either.
looking for something in particular.
What?
I need a hall pass.
Haven't sold those in years.
You're kidding. In school, how do the kids go down the hall during classes without being stopped?
Guns and knives are in the second aisle, in back, on the left.
There are hundreds of stores in New York just like this one, filled with a haphazard assortment of NYC souvenirs, cheap clothing and jewelry, fake IDs, easily concealed weapons, and low-quality audiovisual electronics. The prices are high, but of course you're really paying for the ambiance. The printed t-shirt is one of America's most paradoxical inventions. Corporations paid millions of dollars to plaster their logos all over TV, billboards, movie screens, magazines, buses, trucks, posters, and online services, but when they want you to advertise on your thorax, you have to pay them $14.95. Rather than strip to the waist, you hold a t-shirt up to your body.
What do you think? Is it me?
No, it's somebody who has even less taste than you do.
You flip through the t-shirts, but you don't see any that express the exact sentiments you're feeling at the moment, which are, who buys this crap anyway? The Statue of Liberty has been made into statuette, salt and pepper shakers, paperweights, and the inevitable light lights. Let Lady Liberty's torch light your way to the John. Like a New Yorker would ever buy one of these. Give me a break. Give me a tired, poor humped break. There's nothing like sipping hot coffee from a mug with a cute quote on it. Among these, your favorites are World's Greatest Gay Dad, I've Got a Crack Problem, I Can't Afford It, and Warning, I'm Disgruntled, I'm Heavily Armed, and This Coffee Sucks. You look over the mug, but none of them has the quote on. None of them has a quote on it that just that right blend of sarcasm. And you've had enough of Farside mugs already. This window is one of several small openings through which the clerk does his business, and yes, you may take that any way you like. There's nothing funnier than taking out your gun, shooting someone, and then whipping out your fake gun license and showing everybody how you faked them out. You take the sign and discover that it's clearly not a genuine sign, but a fake one. Disappointed, you replace it. The fake sign is fake. Let's hear it for humor. This guy's been running the same sales for 3 years.
Hey, you looking for signs? You're in luck. That one's half off today.
Tempting, but I'm maxed out on my credit cards. So unless my friend here will co-sign with me.
Come on, Jake. Now is no time to be going off on a sine-cosine tangent.
That was actually good. I like that pun. I gotta give that one credit. Hey, it's Carl Winslow. From the amazed look on this young man's face, you'd think he's never seen crappy merchandise before. Then he looks at you and looks around, and you realize his face is just shaped in a perpetual gawk, much as yours was when you were his age. You ask the young fellow if he's from around here. He looks at you and Josie with seeming incomprehension and then looks away.
Exchange student.
You think?
I hope.
Weathered sign suggests that everything in the store is 30 to 50% off. What it fails to mention is that everything in the store was 100 to 500% overpriced to begin with. How can they sell ties for such a low price? It's simple. They buy right, and so can you. The unwaveringly suspicious gaze of the sleazeball shopkeeper makes you feel too inhibited to snitch the sign. Yeah, well, such is life. You might wonder who'd bother putting a security door on a store that sells only Betamax tapes. The answer is, it's not there to keep people out, it's there to keep the 3 remaining Betamax owners in. Well then. The security door is so heavily locked that you give up and concentrate on something else entirely. You peer through a bullet hole in the security door of Betamax Heaven. It looks like nobody's been in there for a while. There's mail piled up by the door and lots of empty shelves. This could be a bad sign for Betamax owners. A splashy billboard advertises Andrew Wu Leper's latest Broadway extravaganza, Doob! It's supposed to be the first interactive multimedia live onstage musical, and everyone in the first 6 rows has to wear a smock. You can just kind of guess. What are the odds that you come out of the subway to the exact corner where you can find the world's best coffee? And here you thought Callahan's had it. You must have been wrong. Whenever you see a homeless man or woman, you can't help but wonder about that 1% of all street people who are actually millionaires. They're just trying to experience life from a different angle, or who put a few dollars in the bank 40 years ago and forgot all about it. When you try to talk to him, he scowls at you and calls you several rude names. Okay. Well, that's one tired policeman. The policeman takes off his hat and scratches his copper top as he introduces himself as Alkaline, excuse me. He can't tell you how many guys he's charged with battery, but the cells are full. Put him in the right place, and the right woman, and he'll energize her. This guy is cool. He's wearing baggy pants to be in. He isn't wearing baggy pants to be in. He's wearing baggy pants to be old. As you get closer to the old man, you realize that he's keeping up a running commentary under his breath. He's either rehearsing, or more likely reliving, a speech to someone about not throwing away other people's mail. This kind of thing creeps you out, so you make an effort to not listen to him. This old man seems undecided about what to do next. Oh boy, he's glad to be holding whatever it is in that bag. Where's my phone? I have lost my phone on my desk. This is hard to do because I don't have a small phone. Excuse me. Oh. Breath like a backed up sewer. You say hello to the man. He explains that he's waiting to meet his son on the corner. They're going to go play chess in the park and talk, and then maybe go out for a soda. They'll laugh and talk, generally treat each other nicely, then they'll go home. Just imagine, and they're not even members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Interesting. Okay. It's either a fire hydrant or a short, squat, heavily armored guy trying to blend in with the scenery. You struggle hopelessly with the bolts on the fire hydrant, somehow imagining that you can save the rainforest by flooding back this block of Manhattan. The bolts refuse to loosen, but apparently you have a few loose screws already. A neatly dressed doorman stands outside the hotel. As various people and vehicles pass, he signals to them with various fingers. You jaywalk over to the doorman and ask him what kind of services the hotel provides. He mentioned such gracious amenities as free phone calls within a one-floor radius, free white terry cloth bathrobes chained to the wall to prevent theft, and at the in-hotel restaurant La Pretensions, the continental breakfast features their infamous bottomless thimble of orange juice. But their motto is, we're headed to our feet. Let me try this again. But their motto is, we're headed to our feet to put the legs in arms hand in hand with quality. So the doorman explains they also have daily complimentary airport limousines to the airport of the hotel's choice, but actually the odds are quite decent that you'll make it to the right one. The Legs and Arms is one of the many downtown hotels with a French-sounding name. That drives the price up, but the only thing this hotel really has in common with France is that both places hate tourists. Word. These wire mesh trash cans are superior to the old-fashioned garbage containers because they let you see what you're snarfing before you snarf it. They also have the exclusive flow-through ventilation system for keeping the trash fresh and perfuming the atmosphere for blocks around. Embarrassed but anxious to observe proper adventure game protocol, you poke through the layers of trash and find nothing. At least you console yourself, nobody really
Hey, garbage
noticed.
picker, did everyone see that? I can't believe you, Jake Stonebender of Long Island, was poking through the garbage. You should be ashamed.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Thank you a lot. He appears to be holding a conversation with an imaginary 6-foot bouncer named Harvey. Boing, boing, boing. Hey, don't you interrupt, Harvey. Your first instinct is to shake this guy by the shoulders and shout reason into his face, but then something holds you back. You can't see anything, but it feels exactly like two strong hands pinning your arms to your sides. And we're almost back around again. A set of revolving doors leads into this office building. You try to open the revolving door and end up with an ugly bruise on your patella. The meter maid is merrily writing out a ticket for this car. The foolish driver apparently didn't remember that alternate side of the street parking regulations are reversed on weekdays between 2:30 and 4:30 p.m. following a Monday holiday unless a snow emergency exists, except Tuesdays after 6:30 p.m. and during street cleaning. Otherwise, when only the 2-hour parking zones are on the eastbound one-way streets are exempted from their extended meter hours, you can't park for more than 10 minutes unless the signs clearly indicate otherwise by permitting those rules to be lifted on alternate weekdays. Unbeknownst to either you or the meter maid, the sad truth is that the car's driver, in attempting to figure out whether or not he could park here, suffered a mild aneurysm and was moved to Mount Sinai Hospital. At Mount Sinai, parking is free for intensive care patients unless admitted on alternate Monday holiday on which a snow emergency is declared. Sucks, doesn't it? Living in Chicago and knowing Chicago traffic rules. Yeah. You beg the meter maid for clemency on part of the car's driver. She explains that she can't because she works on commissions. Or did she say she works on the commissioner? New Yorkers pay more for a monthly parking spot than people in any other than most other cities pay for their apartments. For years, people parked anywhere they wanted. Then some jerk who wanted to spoil the fun for everyone told the mayor that that people were doing this because the cost of parking legitimately was higher than paying for the parking tickets. Great then. I'd like to drive your car, but it's not your car, so I'll steal it. Although it's against your nature, you reach for the car door.
Josie, watch. I'm going to steal this car.
Oh, yeah? And where are you going to park it?
Good point. Never mind. It's not worth the trouble.
Well, that was masochist. This woman keeps asking about various flavors of pretzels, and the pretzel man keeps telling her he only has one flavor. She must be from some Scandinavian country where they have whole department stores devoted to different flavored pretzels.
I can't. She's speaking pretzelese or something.
So she's described as masochist. You can find roving food stands like this all over Manhattan. This one sells pretzels, hot dogs, pop, and knishes. For those of you with no Jewish friends and or who haven't ever got the vaguest idea of what the hell a knish is, it's sort of like a nosh of schmaltzy farblagnet knit kugel, but not really. Does that help? For those playing at home, a knish is a ball of something like, say, spinach or cheese or potato or mushrooms or a blend of something wrapped in a pastry dough and deep fried. It's very, very good. Very heavy and dry, though. Ten to 1, this guy doesn't even make the pretzels himself. Yeah. He makes small talk with the pretzel man, who insists on being called the pretzel person. He reveals that his products are actually pretzels, and that they can't legally be called pretzels because they're actually made of dried, reconstituted pretzel flakes. This way they all come out looking the same, and they stack easier for shipment. As if anyone would eat something like that. I'd like to buy a pretzel. Buying a pretzel from one of these vendors is a form of legalized gambling, where you get the one that's coated with salt over every millimeter, or the one that with only 3 grains of salt on the whole thing. Are those black lines on the bottom simply scorched, or is it road grit? Will they be stale or totally mushy? Odds of winning are 1 in 3,644,309. Give the vendor $1 and he hands you a pretzel. You take a bite of the pretzel. It's soft, lukewarm, undersalted, and a little bit gritty.
I think I've had enough.
You see? You spend money on something like that, you end up regretting it. And you spoil your dinner.
You've got great maternal instincts.
Don't talk with your mouth full.
One bite was enough for this decade. I'm guessing there's somebody there? Oh. The streets of NYC are paved with gold, but the sidewalks are paved with pure imported Brooklynite, imported from Long Island. The Brooklynite is far too heavy to take anywhere. It's really just made for walking on. You start to sit on the sidewalk.
Stand up or you'll schist mica asphalt of yourself.
All right, I shall. But I think you're taking me for granted.
Schist mica asphalt of yourself? That was impressive, I will admit. Considering the high cost of emergency room visits and tapeworm treatments, eating here at Bertram's Discount Sushi is probably a false economy. You peruse the specials and start to enter the restaurant.
What are you doing?
Look at the values. All the day-old uni you can eat for $3. Scratched and dented California rolls, 2 for $1. Fatty mud puppy belly, 50 cents for 2 pieces. How can we go wrong?
Forget it. We can grab a bite after we saved the rainforest, okay?
Okay. But these prices are so low, it's insane.
You duck your head into the palmistry shop. You're immediately hit in the face by a sickening wave of incense, reminding you of an ex-girlfriend who used to trowel herself with the same overwhelming scent. What was it called?
Patchouli.
God bless you.
You attempt to fight your way through the thick clouds of patchouli incense, but you finally admit defeat. Kids, take out your scratch and sniff card and scratch number 3. If your game didn't come with a scratch and sniff card, call your local outlet of the scratch and sniffer ATM and ask them for item number E933733972. You don't need to go inside. The owner has thoughtfully cut out a huge hole in the storefront in order to transact business more conveniently. You stand on the shelves and attempt to hoist yourself into the store through the window. Josie grabs your ankles and pulls you back out before you can make a total fool out of yourself. Well, almost before. You don't see how the window closes. Either something slides down from up above or the store just never closes. Here, man, have a pretzel. Nobody wants your pretzel in its current condition. Spring has sprung in the Big Apple. The sky has lost that wintry gray tinge and is now a glorious brownish-greenish yellow. The citizenry are no longer wearing heavy winter coats over their Kevlar, and the first robins are keeling over from asphyxiation. The trees here are doing remarkably well considering their steady diet of acid rain, auto exhaust, and birds with bad attitude. You head into the Legs and Arms Hotel, look around the lobby for something or someone helpful, and then find nothing else except a desk clerk with a major attitude problem. Story of my life, really. You enter the office building and take the elevator to the 15th floor. Well, actually, you first go up to the 24th floor because you got into the wrong bank of elevators, so you had to take the elevators back down to the lobby and then up to the 15th floor. Technically, though, you didn't take the express elevators back down to the lobby because you got out on the first floor thinking it was the ground floor. It's not. So you have to take the stairwell down one flight to the lobby. But as you discover too late, the stairwell doors are locked on the inside. After pounding on the stairwell door for a while, you decide you'll have to climb up floor by floor and hope to find one of the doors unlocked. 6 flights and 2 elevator rides later, exhausted but congratulating yourself for all the exercise you've gotten today, you emerge on the 15th floor and shuffle into the swank offices of Fax on Castaroga. With that, I'm actually going to take a quick break. I need to get some water because god dang, I've been talking a lot today. So this is Flynn Church turning off his microphone for a second to leave you with the scintillating tunes of the Fax on Castaroga office. I've been talking for almost 2 hours straight now, so I've got another 2.5 hours to go, probably. So I think I'm going to actually go get some water-like substance. And while I'm gone, if you do like what you see, feel free to follow the stream there by clicking the follow button, or hook up with us over on Twitter at Flynn_Church, and I'll be back in 5 or 10 minutes. Why, we're chilling out in New York City, Red. Pardon me while I deal with a thing. Just getting my microphone comfortable again. All that stuff. To let you know that this is a hip-hop company that can really swing, the Faxon Brass have installed this impressive bank of monitors. They're currently showing the history of the pencil, starring, who else? DeForest Kelley, James Woods, and Twiggy. You're already on, guy. Monitors have no visible controls. Well, that's kind of funny to think, because one of those guys is actually dead. Ha ha ha! A tall gentleman is sitting on the couch. From his nervous gestures, the way he whispers to himself occasionally, and the fact that even though he reeks of aqua velvet, it isn't quite masking the smell of fear, you can guess that he's an applicant waiting for his interview.
Here for an interview?
The man nods his head yes and chuckles sadly. Weakly, even. You wonder momentarily if anyone in the Manhattan business world realizes that every time someone takes a drink from a water cooler, it's like a knife in the heart of every worker at the New York Water Authority. Use it for what? A doorstop? An armrest? Don't be so vague next time. That's better. You would if these mokes weren't hugging the whole beverage area. Inside this cabinet is a veritable treasure trove of cups, plastic spoons, non-dairy creamer, packets of coffee, coffee filters, 3 kinds of sweeteners, the kind that rots your teeth, the kind that causes cancer, the kind that nobody's quite sure yet what it will do to you. And a couple of packets of hot chocolate left over from the Carter administration. You rifle through the goodies, but none of these office supplies are really worth pilfering. Now, at the computer game company on the 3rd floor, they have some stuff worth stealing. Ugh, a gaggle of clatchers are all talking about last night's installment of the miniseries. Not with my daughter, you don't.
Excuse me, but who should I talk to about saving a particular kind of tree in Brazil that your company is about to destroy?
The clatchers stare at you for a moment, taking in your unbusinesslike attire and slightly raggedy appearance. They turn to look at each other, roll their eyes, and one of them shrugs. Another one points to the closed door on the left, then they resume their conversation. Ah, I'm spinning really fast. You can tell how important an executive is by the size of his or her door. Sure enough, according to the plaque, this is the office of the company president, Sigmund Kiskolen.
Kiskolen? Kiskolen? What kind of name is that?
I don't know. Sounds like something from down under.
Think so? To me, it sounds closer to Baltic.
You mean around the back of the peninsula?
Yeah.
Sorry. A sturdy bamboo pole appears to be all that's keeping that plant vertical. A desiccated, sickly-looking plant supported by a bamboo pole is withering under the merciless and vibrant blue glare of the overhead fluorescence.
That's a ficus.
That's if you kiss what?
No, a kind of rubber tree.
You want to rub her tree? You mean if you kiss her?
No, it's a member of the mulberry family.
I don't know whose family she's from, or why you're talking about kissing and rubbing her, but this is getting too kinky even for me.
Gay! Teetering precariously on the thin, dying branches, you climb the plant.
Wow, I can see the water cooler from here.
You tug at a yellowing leaf. It comes off in your hand. You let it flutter down into the pot with the rest of the dead leaves. Shaking damp sphagnum from the base of the pole, you take it out of the pot. You can almost hear the plant making nonplussed sounds. Now they've added
That's
comments.
a ficus.
That's if you kiss what?
No, a kind of rubber tree.
You want to rub her tree. You mean if you...
We already had this conversation. Let's move on. Good God, George Stern. There's a memo tacked up on the board. It's a directive from management. It has come to our attention that certain employees are speaking to the media without first clearing their statements through public relations. We realize that it is not always convenient to do so. Therefore, please use the following preferred terminology. Old term, industrial waste. New term, unexploited byproduct. Old term, deforestation. New term, arboreal right-sizing. Old term, national park. New term, unused timberland. Old term, clear cutting. New term, agricultural preparation procedures. Old term, spotted owl. New term, dangerous parasitic infection. Old term, field of dead stumps. New term, prime park property we're offering to the National Park Service. Old term, seeding. New term, reforestation. Old term, 4-inch saplings. New term, new growth forest. Old term, Brazilian desert. New term, unforeseeable timber shortage. Thank you. Tree-hugging liberals. All up in my game. Not that I mind. Out of my water, whatever the fuck you happen to do. So how is everybody today? I realize I've been doing all the talking today. And I have completely disregarded my entire chat room. What is wrong with me? Oh, get to the chat room. Oh, good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad everybody's enjoying it. I hope people are enjoying it. So what's this say? The partners of half a deforest... Huh? Oh, okay. That took me a second. The letter reads, the partners of Halfa, DeForest, Isganaitz, Barron, and Fallow regret to announce the impending retirement of Watson DeForest. We cannot overstate the importance of Watson DeForest to our firm and yours. He will be missed. In tribute, his name will remain a part of our name. Assuming his caseload will be our new partner, Sonny Cornfield, who we will hope will flourish in the office of what was Watson DeForest's. Sincerely, Hoffa DeForest, it's gone it is. Barron, Fallow, and Cornfield. So much eye candy to read. Your new Employee Assistance Program is a clearinghouse for your evaluation and treatment of many work-related problems. So if you suffer from alternative lifestyles, race or minority status, marriage, enjoying show tunes, substance use, or behavior, please don't hesitate to punch pound 30 and get help today. Remember, all of these problems are correctable, but you have to take the first step, or else we will. I love point-click games. I adore them. To all regarding spin-off products. In order to make best use of our unexploited byproducts, we are taking a cue from the popularity of the recent release of low-fat, high-fiber whole wheat bread made from wood cellulose. We are thus proud to announce the following products manufactured and marketed in joint cooperation with General Food Mills. Twig'ems, breakfast cereal with the look and taste of real twigs with just a touch of honey and brown sugar. Knotholios, individually wrapped candy-coated knotholes in various flavors, maple, pine, and cedar. Sapu, shampoo made from sap, washes, conditions, dries, and gets dirty again, all in one shampooing. Okra. It's okra. No, it's oak. Wait, kids, it's both. Once you get past the texture and taste, you can't tell okra from the real thing. Right. President calls halt to skyrocketing prices. Stefan Two Fingers Boran, president of the American Fireworks Association, has announced a ceiling on the prices of American-made fireworks. The price of skyrocketing just keeps going up and up, he said. What up, bang? TV evangelist defrocked following multiple sex scandals. When asked as to what he'd done after reading about all the latest sex scandals, televangelist Robert Orals replied, "What could I do? I went home, had dinner, took off my frock, and went to bed." Supreme Court Justice accepts payoff in sting operation. U.S. Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor, who recently loaned $10,000 to failing rock star Sting for a hernia operation, was repaid by the recuperating rock star late today. "He didn't have to pay me back right away, but he's great about these things," she said in an interview. Whee! To all tenants of 425 2nd Avenue, from time to time during the year, we will be performing unannounced fire drills in order to perform routine testing and maintenance on the emergency equipment. There is no need to leave the building during these fire drills. Thank you. Intriguing. The fire... Okay, that's one I've already read. For immediate release, Faxon Castaroga to offer new executive line. New York, New York. Pencil monolith Faxon Castaroga is set to introduce a new concept in handwriting where pencils designed to appeal to those who can afford the very latest and best in materials and technology. Dubbed the Professional Strength 2000 line, this series includes pencils made from fur, ivory, eagle feathers, dolphin skin, and other exotic and expensive materials. Faxon Castaroga President Sigmund Kiskolin said of the new line, "We were hoping to include a pencil carved out of authentic dodo beak, but dodos are no longer available. Even so, we know it's the most luxurious line of pencils ever created. Environmentalists will be happy to know," Kiskolin continues, "that the materials used in creating these pencils are 100% biodegradable. Additionally, the work of gathering the resources does not affect the local terrain. In fact, we come across most of these materials naturally in the course of our regular business. So we are essentially becoming less wasteful of what few resources we already have. For information, contact Miles Old Bullspit at one of those fake 555 numbers." Well, I think they're trying to do the environmental chapter here. It's just a wild guess. To all singing in our office. Owing to numerous complaints, the following songs will not be sung, hummed, or whistled while on company property. I'm getting sent a memo over you. It's a long wait for temporaries and all flying sign. Let's get physicals, Giddy Yab 401k, and stop in the name of lunch. Civil rights leader charges racial discrimination in Oval Office. Reverend Jesse Jackson walked into a D.C. bookstore yesterday and charged a copy of the controversial book Racial Discrimination in the Oval Office. "I didn't have the cash with me," the Reverend told reporters, "so I put it on my Gold American Express card." Artist formerly known as Prince Attack's manager, Ted Benenhuckle, a local graphic artist, went on a rampage yesterday and attacked the manager of a convenience store. "This is a total shock," the manager commented. "Ted used to be such a wonderful, wonderful person. Just a prince of a guy." These are not the hardest puns either. These are actually weak puns. The puns in the last chapter and the Piotr chapter that you missed were devastated. Like, this barrel and its partner barrel across the street were brought by a visiting Japanese shogun to the city for rescue as part of a trip several years ago. The sand within them is used to cover the ice, and as such they've been placed on the iciest sections of the street. So you mean to tell me you've never heard of the double-barreled shogun who gets it right between the ice? Car will now run screaming. Because I've said that pun about 5 times and he hates it every time. Spider Robinson loves puns. The books are actually riddled with them. They're just knee-deep in punnery. UN tightens security after bomb threat. The University of Nebraska laid off 4 workers today, tightening the security department as a result of budget cutbacks. "It's always difficult to let people go," a representative said, "and what's worse, we just had found out that another Steve Guttenberg film is coming to a theater near us." They're good books, though. They're really good books. Wow, when that dates this, Steve Guttenberg still made movies.
Have they made Good Friday a Monday holiday?
No.
They will.
It's a list of holidays on which the office is closed. It would be cruel to take this down. It's like taking the carrot. On the menu board hangs a handy Faxon Castaroga wall calendar. In today's box, it says SK to Manaus site, 7:30 p.m. GA pound 1173. There's a line from this box to the following Tuesday's box in which is written the return flight information. The calendar is thoroughly affixed to the board. The sign of true luxury, taking an enormous, beautiful piece of wood, carving it into a single piece of elegant furniture, and then coating it with acrylic so thickly that it looks completely fake. Boy, I do kind of know that one. You half sit on the desk.
Pardon me.
Why? Did you do something?
There are chairs right over there if you need one.
This is fine, thanks.
I like to keep my desk cleaned off.
Yes, I can see that.
You're sitting on it.
Yep, that's the one.
Would you kindly remove your derriere before you force me to call security?
Not at all.
You stand again, having given the priggish secretary the obligatory hard time. The secretary is currently sitting right there, making this rather a poor time to search the desk. Yeah, that is true. No, don't quit. Underneath the decorative lettering is the company's slogan, Faxon Castaroga, the clear-cut choice. You run your fingers over the cool glass of the door, leaving a smear of natural oil. Somewhere, lightly on the air-conditioned breeze, you hear a cleaning person swearing softly at you and everyone like you. Boy, don't I know that one. Looks perfect for sliding on, but you know better than to take off your shoes here. You and Josie stage a brief sit-in, but fail to attract enough media attention to pressure Faxon Castaroga to change their ways. So you stand up again. Can't win them all. The plaque explains that this is a scale model of Faxon Castaroga's first pencil from 1842. In those days, you could buy 1,000 million of them for $1.50. Our first model, the 1842 Faxon Superior Quality Lead-centered factory board cedar writing implement with erasure nub. And they're probably going back to that name pretty soon. Cursory examination reveals this to be some sort of gigantic pencil suspended on fishing line. The showcase doesn't seem to open.
It looks hermetically sealed.
I wonder if hermetically came from the root word hermit.
Do you?
Came from the root word Hermes, but okay. The office walls are covered with a linen-like textured wallpaper. It's durable, strippable, and washable. These are probably doors to private offices. You open one of the doors a crack, and a tired-looking man at a word processor says yes without even looking up. Caught without a thought-out response, you say, "See you at the show," and close the door. That ought to keep him wandering for a while. You knock on one of the doors, and a slightly frantic-sounding voice shouts out, "Not now!" There must be some hanky-panky going on in there. It's hard to imagine that there's some kind of big pencil emergency going on. Put the floor on the wall. A tray of employment applications sits atop the filing cabinet. It stirs up memories of your father's words. Yip, 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 bum, 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 get a job. You take an application from the paper tray and a sleek, factory-fresh Faxon Castaroga pencil.
What are you planning on doing? Getting a job here and subverting from within?
Not exactly.
With Josie in mind, you take a second application. You and Josie take turns filling out applications with a fictional biographical information. You were a rail splitter in Kentucky before you became a professional philosopher, and now you want to go back into woodworking. Josie was a consultant for the Bureau of Planned Obsolescence, for whom she created a computer program that would do exactly what she did, thus ending their need for her. It was only years later that she realized her mistake. So it's a 2-foot length of hollow bamboo. It's a Faxon Castaroga 42G, the Repelsum. Its fiberglass shaft and real lead core make it one of the most durable and toxic pencils ever made. Whee! A standard metal filing cabinet has been placed outside of the Human Resources Department. You open the top drawer of the file cabinet and page through applications while Josie attempts to block anyone from seeing you.
HMO. Alexander Robert, Asrotanico Thinkacorn, Demeric Clotilde Benson Floydy?
Learning anything?
Yeah, whoever filed these sucks at alphabetizing.
After a few minutes of fruitless searching, you close the filing cabinet door. A small sign next to the door identifies this as the Human Resources Department. You saunter fearlessly into the Human Resources Department and hand both your applications to the HR manager. She checks them briefly, makes several notes on a legal pad, and then initials the applications. She takes you and sits you down in front of a Polaroid, taking pictures of you and Josie. The applicant, bothered by the fact that you cut in line in front of him, leaves. The HR manager attaches the photos to the applications, hands them back to you, and directs you to wait in the lobby for the next available interview. She assures you it should almost definitely be sometime today. The photos of you and Josie are both harsh and unflattering, but the price was right.
Yes?
My name is Jake Stonebender. This is my associate. We'd like to speak to Mr. Kiskolan.
I'm sorry, Mr. Kiskolan cannot be disturbed.
He's expecting us.
He is. And the name?
Just tell him Mr. Carpaccio is here to discuss an overdue loan payment.
Mr. Carpaccio, is it? I thought your name was Stonebender.
That's my street name, honey. You go around telling people your name is Carpaccio, you make a lot of people very nervous.
I can understand that. I try to stay away from raw meat myself. Well, Mr. Carpaccio, I'm afraid you'll need to go to accounts payable, 12th floor.
This was a personal loan in the 5-figure range.
It was. Now, why would a man worth $20 million take out a tiny loan from a local thug?
I'm not a thug.
If you're not, you will be.
I think not.
Let's not play games.
Then why am I here?
Do you want the truth?
If you think I can handle the truth.
I am not going to let you in to see Mr. Kiskolan, period. Do I make myself clear?
Crystal.
Oh, that was pointless.
Yes?
Yeah, fun.
Tell us about employment opportunities.
I am not human resources. I am the president's personal assistant.
You're George Stephanopoulos?
Faxon Castaroga's president's personal assistant. Human resources is down the hall behind you.
Why are you also the receptionist?
Our receptionist is on the 10th floor. As you would have known had you stopped there first.
We wanted to speak directly to Mr. Kiskolan.
To ask him about employment opportunities?
Yeah, I mean, damn. She ran rings around my logic.
Yeah, well, when it's a small object like that, it's not hard.
Yes?
You're kind of cute, in that severe schoolmarmish way.
And you're a terrible liar. In that insincere, transparent way.
So we agree.
What do you want?
I was hoping to use cheap flattery and flirtation to get you to allow us in to see your company president.
You're being honest, at least.
Let us see him.
Why should I?
Because I make you laugh.
I don't hear myself laughing, do you?
We're here to do something constructive. Something that will benefit mankind. Maybe not today, but soon and for the rest of our lives.
Now I'm laughing. I'm sorry, your cause will just have to wait for an appointment.
That'll be too late.
Like everybody else. Or you may submit your solicitation for a charitable donation in...
We're not asking for a damn donation.
In writing, and we will get back to you. Case closed.
Why can't you just listen?
Case closed.
I haven't been this angry at anybody, and I can't remember.
I know, Jake. Don't worry, we'll find a way to get him out of there.
You squeeze into the couch and rest your weary feet momentarily.
Rested, energized, ready to go?
Sure am. Say, this thing really works. What'd you call it again?
It's a couch.
Gosh, I'll have to remember that. Thanks.
Like most office plants, this little fella is a charter member of the future sagebrush of America. As you begin to pluck a leaf off the plant, a growly voice in the back of your mind stops you with a familiar, yet unfamiliar quote.
This is gonna bug me all day if I can't think of what this is from.
What's from?
How would you like it if someone came along and picked an apple off of you?
Ah.
What? Ah. 2 Oz?
2 Oz.
Right, we're off to see the wizard. Thank you.
Okay. You would if it were for all those smarmy people. Right outside the glass doors, a bank of elevators awaits your command. You push open the glass doors and ring for an elevator, Josie in tow. An elevator arrives and carries you swiftly and safely to the ground floor where you disembark and stroll out into the greater New York metropolis area. The steps down lead to the IRT line of the New York City subway system, where if the trains are late, you can always ride the rats.
Where are you going?
Not on the subway.
That's right. We've got stuff to do here. Stick around.
Jam up the pole with pretzel dough, and just imagine what it's doing to your intestines right now. You're right, help, I have no salt on the pretzel, but it begs for something more. Let's talk to Josie real fast.
What day is this?
It's today. I mean, I didn't change the day. I just set the clock back a few hours.
Why cut it so close? Wouldn't we be better off if we went back months or years?
This isn't exactly an officially sanctioned project. Technically, it's an infraction for me to be time hopping at all. But I can get away with a real short hop like this without having to report it.
What about ride-along?
You mean, am I going to get in trouble for having you tag along? I've got friends in high places. I'm not too worried. I can always put in a call to my pal Boutros.
Boutros?
Yep.
That meant something, but I don't quite remember what.
It's today.
Hey, I had more money than this afternoon.
And somewhere you still do. Where were you this afternoon?
At home.
What?
I was taking a nap. What's wrong with taking a nap?
Nothing at all. Lots of people take naps.
Damn straight.
When they get to be a certain age. Anyway, you're still at home, you're still taking a nap, and you still have your money.
So if I'd been here in the city this afternoon, I might have bumped into myself?
If you weren't watching where you were going, sure.
How about a commish?
Isn't that a TV show? No, you're probably thinking of the commish.
Oh, I thought that was the Branch Davidian guy.
No, that's Koresh.
Wait, isn't that a brand of breath mints?
No, that's Claret's.
No, Claret's was the FBI agent in Silence of the Lambs.
No, that was Clarice.
I thought Clarice was the angel who saved Jimmy Stewart from killing himself.
No, that was Clarence.
Now I'm all confused.
Now you're confused?
What is a knish?
A knish is when you take cheese or potatoes or meat, wrap it in dough, and fry it or bake it.
I thought that was a blintz. I could really go for a blintz.
Well, that's just too damn bad.
Thank you for explaining to my audience what a knish is better than I did.
If we're here to save these trees, we're too late.
No, we're here to see if we can do this the easy way. Fax and Castaroga is the company currently lumbering the area of Brazil where these trees were supposedly found. Their offices are around here, and we'll go make our case to the CEO, Sigmund Kiskolen.
Technically, yeah, it would be a pierogi, or a dumpling, or a wonton, or a dim sum. Or gyoza.
By appealing to his sense of responsibility to chocoholics? I don't think so.
Hey, we are everywhere. We are in all segments of society, and we will not be ignored.
Maybe he'll be some brainless pretty boy who slept his way to the top, whose mind we can easily manipulate.
Well, Sigmund Kiskolen. With that name right there, you know he's a babe.
Of course, I'm not sure who you'd sleep with to become CEO.
I'm sure there's somebody. People go to astounding lengths to get ahead in business. Somebody sleeps with Marge Schott, go figure.
Oh, that turned my stomach. Thank you. I forgot about Marge Schott. How did you make them, Red? There's the question. Did you follow the instructions, or did you do something different, or... because it depends. Not all boxed pierogies are good, either. We buy a brand down here that are really pretty good. They're not, like, homemade good, but they're good.
He's probably been confronted by environmentalists before.
Look, there's no point in assuming he's going to be uncooperative. It doesn't hurt to talk to him about it. And if we don't get anywhere with him, we go to plan B.
Which is?
Trust me, I'm a cop. I know exactly what I'm doing at all times.
Sounds like a plan. You said we were going to go save the trees. You didn't say anything about screwing up my internal clock.
You knew the job was dangerous when you took it.
No, I didn't.
Are you kidding? Danger follows me around, and you're my boy wonder.
What we do with them is we boil them until they warm up and they soften out, and then we actually throw them in a pan and butter fry them. Get them nice, crispy, browned up. Really good.
Are you next?
Don't go in there. Nothing, Mr. Kiskolen, I'm sorry. Be quiet. Mr. Kiskolen is on long distance.
We need to see you about a matter of importance.
I'll call security.
I bet you use that threat a lot. Calm down.
The adjustable vent overhead is supposed to help control the rate of airflow, but since the air in the windowless building is merely recirculated, the vent really just controls the rate of infection. It's currently closed. Yeah, usually if they're boiled, or boiled then fried, they're a lot better. I've never had them baked. I can't imagine that would work out real well with the kind of pastry they use. Wielding the bamboo pole like a punter, you're able to push up the little lever and open the louvers. With the vent open, the cacophony from the group on coffee break is broadcast to all the other offices with open-air vents, including apparently Sigmund Kiskolen's office.
Miss Hasselblad, how long has this coffee break been going on?
Only about 5 minutes, sir.
Oh, good. Then it's over.
The employees, properly chastened, take their coffee and shuffle back to their offices. It's okay, man. I understand. They're kind of an ethnic thing. I mean, if you don't have a Polish community out where you're at, you're not going to get pierogi. It just doesn't really happen. They're a Jewish, Polish thing.
How long, really?
Coming up on 10 minutes.
Write them up.
That's better. You glide effortlessly to the water cooler, get small cups of water for both you and Josie, down them and crumple up the disposable cups and toss them in the wastebasket. You walk over to the water cooler, draw a tepid cup of water, and buy the bush a drink. 1 second. Somebody's trying to grab my attention on my phone. Well, it depends, too. My understanding is it's a Polish-Jewish thing, not a traditional kosher thing. And Chicago's very Polish. Alright, so that must be Kiskolen. Let's talk to him. Sigmund looks at you impatiently.
Yes?
We need to speak to you about your logging operations in Brazil.
What about it?
There's a grove of extremely rare trees on land that you're due to clear cut shortly.
If you haven't already.
And?
Well, we were hoping to persuade you that these trees are worth saving.
Why?
You glance over at Josie.
They produce cacao beans.
Cacao trees are not endangered.
These are.
These aren't regular cacao trees. They're of an extremely rare variety.
The vast majority of our cutting is domestic cedar. We do some cutting in Brazil, all of which is perfectly legal and authorized by the Brazilian government. I deal with...
All we're talking about is...
Let me finish. I deal with environmentalists every day, and I have made concessions to almost every such group extant. I will not now be bullied by the Chocolate Alliance. Thank you for my time.
As you and Josie look on incredulously, Sigmund turns to his secretary.
Miss Hasselblad, these came to me by mistake.
He hands some tickets to his secretary, spins on his heels, and walks into his office and shuts the door forcefully. Miss Hasselblad glances at the tickets and tacks them on the bulletin board behind her. With a smug smile aimed directly at you and Josie, she returns to her work. Wow, she didn't... Wow. Nice wrist work. Sigmund's tickets to Brazil are tacked up on the bulletin board. You reach for the tickets, but the secretary grabs your hands.
Excuse me. Step away from the tickets.
I was just looking.
Well, move along. There's nothing to see here.
Would you mind, going elsewhere, just for a little bit?
The secretary looks up from her desk and is about to say something when she realizes that you want her to leave so that you can get into Sigmund's office. She favors you with a brief reproving smirk and goes back to her work.
Did I hear Mr. Kiskolen say something about going to Brazil?
Mr. Kiskolen and I are visiting some of the company's overseas This is none of your business.
Quite all right. I have work to do. If you'll excuse me. Is Mr. Kiskolen always so businesslike?
He's disciplined. Very, very disciplined.
You must admire him a great deal.
I do. He's a self-made multi-millionaire.
Seems like a happy guy.
He did not get to be a multi-millionaire by being a happy guy.
Don't you think he would...
I have work to do. Thank you for the chat.
I swear, every time I look up at her, her eyes look like the crosses you sometimes see on mime makeup. And, well, she looks like Bronson Pinchot. As a mime.
I'd like to buy 6 of the finest, freshest number 2 pencils in your warehouse, please.
We don't sell pencils here.
Don't you find that odd?
This is a business office, not a retail store. However, I will be happy to give you 6 pencils if you please go away and leave me alone.
Ooh, she's cracking. You're getting to her. Keep it going.
That would be fine. Thank you.
The secretary reaches into her desk and pulls out a box of pencils.
Here.
Oh, these are black pencils. I was looking for different colors.
We don't make different colors.
Here, then.
You hand the box back to her, which she drops into a drawer. She slams the drawer shut.
Wait a minute. I changed my mind. I'll take those pencils after all.
I don't have any.
But you just...
I don't have any.
They're right in that...
I don't have any.
I think you may have done it.
The secretary breathes deeply and murmurs something to herself. She pauses, grimaces, bridges her fingers, and rocks back and forth, gritting her teeth and touching the tips of her fingers together compulsively. After a few moments of this, she straightens her back, clears her throat, and returns to her work as if you'd never spoken.
Oops, false alarm. Good job, though.
I choked. Good thing for you, I've forgotten what I was gonna say.
Indeed. My luck knows no bounds.
The secretary peevishly tells you to keep your money and that she's not a common streetwalker. No, most common streetwalkers look better than that. You hold the pretzel out to her. She shudders involuntarily. You rifle through the goodies, but none of these office supplies are worth pilfering. Now the computer game, yeah, we already did that. Use it for what? A doorstop, an armrest? Don't be... 1 second. It is in fact our house brand. That's the brand we eat here all the damn time because the local stores love to buy one get one on it. They're good, but yeah, they do need to be boiled and fried, not baked. I don't know why it would say to bake them. I've never had a baked pierogi. I don't recommend the weirder ones either. I've never had a meat pierogi that was any good, and I cannot get into boiled plum pierogi. Or stewed plum pierogi. Inside the plastic-lined wastebasket, you see the usual assortment of crumpled Post-its, donut droppings, and used-up office supplies. By rigging up 2 discarded coffee stirrers, a rubber band, and a piece of donut as the fulcrum, you construct a makeshift forceps and pick through the garbage. It looks like you've already used up all the really good pieces to make the forceps, which suddenly falls apart when the fulcrum crumbles under the excessive load. You may be having cash flow problems right now, but there's no need to overreact. We'll keep you fed. Well, they're basically dumplings. So yeah, you could do a ton to them. I've never had them deep fried. It would probably be good though. Saute, I usually pan fry, but you boil them to warm them up first. Especially if they're frozen, because... One second, somebody's at my door and I need to go take care of that. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. FedEx up. Thank you. Man? What's up, car? Nope. And this is the MT-32 soundtrack, too.
How long have you been waiting?
The man laughs uncomfortably as he glances at his watch. Just over 45 minutes, he explains.
What position are you applying for?
The man turns to you and nervously explains that he's trying to remember everything he learned in business school and asks if you could please not disturb him.
What business school did you go to?
The man doesn't acknowledge your question except for the involuntary twitching of his jaw muscles.
What business... So, we struck out. What's plan B?
Where's the one place you've always wanted to go?
Yosemite.
Wrong, wrong, wrong. Brazil.
What makes you think I ever wanted to go to Brazil?
It's nothing you've ever said. It's just a feeling I get.
I'm game. Let's hit the road.
We need to arrange air transportation.
Who's paying for this? What are you looking at me that way for?
I'm just thinking. Seems to me that Fax and Castaroga should be paying for these tickets. Don't you think?
If it weren't for them, we wouldn't need to go. Mm-hmm. And unless I miss my guess.
And unless your guesses are more accurate than your feelings, didn't Kiskolan just give a pair of tickets to his secretary?
Indeed he did. Are you really suggesting we lift them? You're the cop here, you know. I'm using you as my moral linchpin.
Let's do it. We can always make good on them later if we have to, but I don't think we'll have to.
Okay, so I have to steal the... I already kind of knew I had to steal the tickets. This would be the perfect seat in which to sit and watch the story of the pencil. You've already read the book, and it wasn't very good. You're no horticulturalist, but that looks like a wandering Jew.
Is that a wandering Jew?
No.
Why do they call it a wandering Jew, anyway?
Doc says he doesn't know where the Jewish part comes in, but he says it's wandering because of how much it leaves.
I'll bet that was a rude awakening.
Oh no, STEM puns again.
Okay, you win that round.
Argle, blargle, flargle, glargle!
Did I hear Mr. Quite...
Don't go in there. Nothing, Mr. Kiskolan, I'm sorry. Be quiet. Mr. Kiskolan is on long distance.
We need to see you.
I'll call security.
I bet.
You reach for the doorknob, but Josie touches your arm.
Don't bother. We're not going to talk him out of anything. We'll just have to do this the hard way.
Well, yeah, but I wish I knew what hard way was. It's a brochure for the Godavanta Chocolate Company. You notice it in the year on the back flap, and a small print is over 50 years in the future. Sinful, decadent, rich, words that come to mind whenever we think of our customers, the people who buy Godavanta chocolate. Truly one-of-a-kind, hand-dipped chocolates, because with the price of Godavanta, we only have to sell a couple of pounds a year. Valentine's Day, anniversaries, birthdays, homeowners' loan approvals. The occasions for Godavanta chocolate are simply the occasions of your life. We buy our beans directly from Brazil, where our buyers are so demanding that each year 20 or 30 local beaners lose their lives in an effort to bring us the rarest brand of cacao beans on earth. The only beans that surpass ours are from an ancient strain of the plant now extinct, and these beans are lost forever to the ages. The world's greatest chocolate is believed to have been grown in one small area in the Brazilian rainforest. Unfortunately, this discovery was made too late to save the grove of trees, later designated Theobroma Cacao Ultimacerium, and exists only in a couple of pods, too damaged to be viable. The loss of these trees into the chocolate world can never be estimated, as they were destroyed by the Fax and Castaroga Pencil Company during its clear-cutting operations in Boa Vista in the spring of 1997. We process our beans by hand to retain the full flavor of 100% real chocolate. The beans are scooped from their pods, washed, and then roasted. Each bean is cracked to reveal its nib, the stuff of which chocolate is made. The nibs are ground beneath enormous steel rollers several times to achieve a smooth quality. The chocolate is then sweetened and conched, a mellowing process in which the chocolate is constantly stirred while being heated, and simultaneously cooled by a blast of fresh air. Once molded and cooled, the chocolate is of perfect eating quality, but at Godavanta that's only the start. Our centers, creams, nougats, and occasional bonus diamond jewelry, are prepared according to exacting family recipes. The centers are enrobed in our exclusive blends of milk, dark, and white chocolate, and shipped immediately by a personal courier who must remain refrigerated at all times to maintain an optimal storage temperature. Delight, discovery, delicious. There are no ordinary chocolates, not with flavors like lemon pepper, buttermilk ranch, blue raspberry, beer, polenta, creamery surprise, and over 7 more. To arrange for delivery of Godavanta chocolates in your sector, contact one of our personal consultants on the Hypernet, or you may contact our loan department for easy terms. Find out why Godavanta chocolates are the most expensive your money can buy. Godavanta, when you couldn't care less about spending the very most. And now I desperately want a chocolate bar. Fuck you, game. Fuck you, and fuck you! Looks like there's a couple of cups of coffee in the pot. You pick up the coffee pot. Woohoo! There's a little red switch on the coffee machine that turns the burner on and off. It is currently off. You switch the burner on, W. What can I burn? Put the pretzel on the burner. Okay. I burn the brochure. Jessie wants her brochure back at the end of this adventure. Don't give it away. Dipping the pretzel in the coffee slurry at the bottom of the pot would improve the taste of both, but not by much. You tilt the pot back and the sludge slowly moves towards your waiting lips. As it crawls inexorably forward, you can't help but thinking about its probable taste, its probable temperature, your table manners. You thrust away the pot just as the coffee sludge is about to touch your lips. You start to tip the pot over her head, but she rolls her chair away from you.
What do you think you're doing? Do you want me to call security?
Jake, I know you're just playing, but try not to alienate her too much. She may be of use to us.
I want to test my theory.
Which is?
That she uses so much hairspray that anything you pour on her will beat up and run off.
Well, pour it on her, and chances are you'll get beat up and run off.
The applicant shakes his head. He must be nervous enough without the coffee. He winces at the pretzel you're holding out to him as if experiencing a psychic stomach cramp just by looking at it. Figuring that bad coffee is better than not being watered at all, you pour the sludge into the soil.
That's a FICA.
That you?
No.
I don't know.
So now I've got an empty coffee decanter. A small yellow post-it note has been scotch-taped to the Mr. Coffee right by the Kleenex and the Excedrin. We figured as long as we were violating trademarks, we might as well go the whole hog. Hog provided courtesy of Oscar Mayer. It says the same thing as every post-it taped to every coffee machine in the country. It says if you take the last cup of coffee, please turn off the burner to prevent scorching. You put the pot on its burner. It is currently on. The aroma of hot coffee dregs wafts by.
What business school did you go to?
The smell of overcooked coffee fills your nostrils. The stench of scorched coffee pot assails your senses. It's on fire, Captain! The burned coffee smell becomes overpowering as the coffee pot begins to smoke. The secretary, her lips pursed tightly enough to make the cords of her neck stand out, goes over to the coffee machine and shuts off the burner.
Look at this. Now I have to scrape the pot again. Flagrant disregard. Flagrant.
She throws you a dirty look and walks off down the hallway with the smoking pot. Maybe we should rephrase that to avoid any misunderstanding. Doop. Looking both ways to make sure that delightful secretary isn't watching, you slyly take the tickets off the corkboard. This is me. I'm leaving. Hey, it's a limo! How convenient! A bored-looking gentleman is seated inside the limo, thumbing through a magazine and occasionally searching for body orifice semi-liquids. You.
Are you waiting for anyone in particular?
The limo driver glances at his watch.
Nope. I'm just supposed to go when I get 2 or more hotel guests who want to go to the airport.
He goes back to reading an article about doing the perfect 9-point turn.
I'm staying at the Legs and Arms. Are you the airport limo?
Yep. You going to the airport?
Yes.
Great. You are a hotel guest, right?
Of course.
Great. Got your tickets?
Right here.
You show your tickets to the driver.
International terminal. Got your passports? People forget them. We get to the airport, they want me to turn around and come back.
Right. Passports. Forgot them. We'll be back, okay? Don't go anywhere.
The driver says nothing, but goes back to looking at a pictorial entitled, "We're Talking Trash, 10 Celebrities You Never Want in Your Limo." Among others, you're able to see Sean Penn, Johnny Depp, and Zsa Zsa Gabor. Oh, those days when we thought of Johnny Depp as a bad boy.
I can't help thinking about how cool it might be to own some form of fake ID. You know, just for fun.
They're 2 for 1. Which one do you want?
A passport.
I need photos for passports, and I need cash up front, 21 each. That's 42 minus 21 for the big clearance sale leaves 21.
I've only got $20. Can I get a discount?
No. Yeah, give me that pretzel.
Without hesitation, you thrust the pretzel at him, followed by all your cash on hand. He recounts the money, moistening his finger between each bill. Satisfied, he takes a bite from the pretzel.
Takes care of the cocaine aftertaste from the money. You got the photos?
You hand him both photos. He hands you both forms asking for name, height, weight, and other facts. You pretend to be Sigmund Kiskolet, and Josie changes her last name to Hasselblad. The shopkeeper vanishes into the rear of the store. Only about a minute later, he emerges and hands you both of the passports, still warm from the magic passport thingamabob he must have back there.
They smell freshly mimeographed.
Freshly what?
That's real passport stock. That's why that looks so good. You might want to rough those up a little. According to what I put in there, you've already been to Norway and Sweden.
Why Norway and Sweden?
Makes you look boring.
You thank the man for his assistance and pocket the passports.
I don't get to carry my own passport?
I'm sorry.
You dig out Josie's passport and offer it to her.
That's okay. Would you hold on to it for me?
You mutter and put the passport back in your pocket. They are not taking subtleties.
I'm
Yep. You going?
Yes.
Great.
Of course.
Great.
Right here.
International?
Yep. Right here.
Here they are, Mr. Kiskolen.
Thank you, Miss Hasselblad.
You flash the passports at the driver. He gets out of the limo, opens the door, and ushers you both into the limo's den-like interior.
Swank.
Yes, look. TV set, VCR, bar, telephone, fax machine. Look, a jacuzzi.
The two, proud of your accomplishments, celebrate with a quick dip in the jacuzzi on your way to LaGuardia. Once at the airport, everything goes like clockwork. Your tickets are accepted without trouble, with your passports to back up your identities. Soon you're winging your way to Manaus in business class. At the arrival gate in Manaus, you spot a man holding a cardboard sign with Faxon written on it. You identify yourselves to the man, and he escorts you to another part of the airport where a single old private plane awaits. He begins a non-stop stream of chatter in broken English, introducing himself as Guzman and repeatedly begging your forgiveness for the condition of his plane. Yeah, pre-9/11 this shit. We haven't had this problem in ages. Josie seems less anxious, I missed that line. As you sit on the runway preparing for takeoff for Faxon Castanoga's airport airstrip near Boa Vista, Guzman turns his face at you.
Thank you for flying in my airplane with me. I know you have a choice when making travel plans, and I pray fervently that you would consider flying with me again the next time you are considering to be in Brazilian airspace. Before we take off, local ordinances demand that I tell you about the plane's safety feature. The door over there,
Guzman indicates the side hatch with two extended fingers,
is meant to fall off or break in the event of a crash. Please do not sit next to the door unless you believe you can handle it. Can you handle it?
I can handle it.
Good. In the event of a water landing, please drink as much as you can, very quickly, okay? Also, Those seats cannot be used as flotation devices, okay?
Why not? They look like flotation devices.
They were, but you can only use them for flotation 4 or 5 times. Then they don't stay up very well anymore. In the event of cabin depressurization, a stick of gum will drop down from the overhead compartment. And if you chew it, it makes it not so bad for your ears, right? I am Guzman, your flight attendant. Our pilot, which is also me, Guzman, will keep you informed of our progress. Right now, I would like to ask you to examine the seat pocket in front of you and see if there's one of those flight safety cards. You might also find a copy of Aging Aircraft of Today, our in-flight magazine. If you find it, that's my copy, okay? I've been looking for it. Don't take it with you. Those of us who have flown with us before are automatically enrolled in our We Cheated to Death Frequent Flyers Club. And you're back for another flight? Wow! Okay, so kindly make sure your tray tables and seat backs are in their full upright and locked positions, if your seat has a back. And Guzman, prepare for departure.
A few tense minutes later, and you're airborne. The narration is not voice acted. Got me a pipe wrench. You pull the pipe wrench out of the toolbox. A large glass of navel jelly, miraculously unbroken, protrudes from the box. You pull the jar of navel jelly, N-A-V-A-L, out of the toolbox. The box is crammed with flanges, gaskets, screwdrivers, files, Allen wrenches, and a variety of miscellaneous aircraft fixing implements. It's either a light bulb or some sort of alien spore. Gingerly, being careful not to touch the exposed wire, you try to twist the bulb. You feel, rather than hear, a crunching sound that tells you this sucker is cooked right into its socket.
This is your captain speaking. I forgot to tell you to buckle your seatbelt. But if you put it on anyway, you can take it off now. We have leveled off at 7,000 feet. So kick back and enjoy the rest of the flight.
The clubs are in such bad shape, only the bag is keeping them up.
We have now begun our descent into the greater Boa Vista metro area. So please, prepare in whatever way your religion dictates. So, Guzman, prepare for arrival.
You twist the knob clockwise. A strong aroma of mold suddenly fills your nostrils, being your only indication that the air blower is working at all. Suddenly, the radio squawks to life. Guzman responds in Portuguese, making it impossible for the two of you to follow the conversation. A sudden light is blinking. Guzman hangs up the radio. You can feel the plane start to make a sharp turn.
Jake?
I know. I don't think this is good.
We're circling.
A shelf has been mounted onto the wall here, upon which sits what appears to be a scanner or radio of some sort.
You are imposters. Manaus Airport says you are not who you say you are. We will not be landing until the authorities reach Paxson airstrip so they can take you into custody. Until then, you are my prisoners. You may not make yourselves comfortable, pig dogs.
Oh, good. The electronic item is already on, as indicated by the glowing red light. Fortunately, it only seems to put out static. There are cans of weather-beaten airplane semi-gloss in such colors as deep rusty steel, candy apple primer, and dirty gray brown. Loose wires hanging down from overhead. Maybe they're putting in track lighting. Bob Vila would approve. The wires are firmly anchored to the wall. You, on the other hand, aren't very firmly anchored if you're going around pulling on loose wires with exposed tips. What looks like a parachute is lying on the floor amongst the crates. As you start to pick up the parachute, a half-dozen moths fly out. You quickly drop it, realizing that this is not a parachute with which you trust your life. An extra medium-sized crate is pushed up against the side of the plane. You'd need something like a crowbar before you can pry this crate open. Can't seem to get the bottom off the top of the crate. The inside of the plane is bare, unfinished metal, adding to the sense of security you've already gotten from the violent shuddering during takeoff. Of course, it's hard to remember which was shuddering more violently, you or the plane. Well, since we haven't in a while, let's actually save. I'm going to open the hatch. The thought of standing right at the edge of the hatch and swinging it wide open makes you slightly nauseous. Let the flight attendant handle it. Envisioning yourself pushing down on the latch leads to the image of the hatch door swinging open and taking you with it. Yeah, we're not gonna fuck with that. A simple metal handle is secured to the bulkhead by aging rusted bolts. Grab the metal handle. It seems solid. This old calendar sports a faded color photograph of Miss Tailspin of 1981. Nothing happened in the 80s you want to remember. Yeah, I know how that goes.
Josie, can you open this crate?
What makes you think I can open it?
Well, you've got longer fingernails.
It's going to take more than long fingernails to open this.
What would be better is some sort of pegboard with a hook and a tape outline of the wrench. Just wait until you find one of those. You yank open the top of the cardboard box and look inside. All you can see is ream after ream of setup instructions. So it's satellite dish instruction manuals, huh?
The heck with it. Let them uncrate their own Aquameister Pyropondic water distiller cooler.
That's telling them. Wow, that was neat.
These filthy green seats smell like the inside of a wet Volkswagen occupied by a wet dog wearing a wet wool blanket. Good thing you didn't actually try to smell them. These seats look like they probably stink, so let's just look at them instead. You're already sitting. Drop the push bed onto the bamboo pole, and if it's just inside without much room to spare. It's made sort of a blowgun, though a little push bin like that would barely give someone tetanus, let alone bring down an antelope. You get within a few feet of the fire extinguisher before Guzman turns to face you.
I am growling! Jump back!
Jump back! Somebody doesn't pick up after themselves. You would, but you hate the way glass fragments get into your hair and fuse to your skull from the live current. Yeah, I've had those moments. You twist the knob counterclockwise. The pungent aroma of mold recedes into the background, leaving the relatively delicate smell of fuel oil battling for dominance over the smell of those green vinyl seats. You try to point the blower in your direction, and it moves very slowly, as if something sticky has dripped onto it a long time ago. This is the international travel symbol for Genesis. This is the international travel symbol for wacky.
What is it, pig dogs?
Don't be angry with us. We're on a mission from God.
Yes, you are on a mission to make mischief for me and my job. Sit down before I kill you to death. I am so angry at the deception.
Sorry.
What is it, pig?
What are you going to do with us?
I will detain you at the Manaus airport until Mr. Kiss Colon arrives. The real Mr. Kiss Colon. Then I let him decide what to do with you. If I had my way, I boot you out of the plane right now and make you walk home.
If you'd let me explain to you why we've done this, maybe you'll change your mind.
Guzman turns his head to look at you, a cruel sneer on his lips.
I am not interested in your explanations.
Well, what are you interested in? Maybe we can find some common ground, really get to know each other, you know?
Well, obviously that wasn't the right tangent.
What is it?
It's too stuffy back here. Can I open the door?
Guzman snarls and whips around in his seat. He leaps to his feet, and you and Josie both shirk slightly at his fervor.
You are lazy and stupid.
And hot.
Guzman grumbles under his breath and throws the door open.
Now go play outside.
The hatch is wide open. Every time you look at it, you get the disconcerting feeling of the relaxation of certain interior muscle groups. You stand and walk over to the open hatch. You're about to step out when you recall that a 2-kilometer drop would kinda hurt.
See what we miss out on because we're not exoskeletal.
Who are you talking to?
Her.
Me? I didn't even hear what you said.
What is it?
What are you going to do with us?
I will...
If you'd let me...
I am...
All right. I'll just tell Josie here what the explanation is, and if you should happen to overhear it, I can't help that, can I?
You hear the click of a hammer being pulled back.
I guess Josie already knows why we're here. Don't you, Josie?
Yes, I do, Jake. No explanation necessary here.
Alright, so the crazy pilot has a gun, too. Guzman, the pilot flight attendant, has murder in his eyes, or at least it looks that way from the back of his head. The gauges are cracked and grimy, the lights are broken or missing, and the switches are old and reliable, and the buttons are insensitive and totally self-involved. It's like my family. As you approach the control, Guzman turns towards you, gun in hand, and smiles nastily. You nonchalantly stroll back to your seat. Every time you try to sneak up on him, he turns around and threatens you. So you cock your arm back with the thought of hurling the wrench and hitting Guzman with it from back here. But Josie points out the likelihood that you'll break instrumentation and possibly kill the man or lead him to kill you. That calls for guile, not force. Josie points out the sticking attack into the back of Guzman's neck probably won't do much to him except make him angrier than he already is. Because you know Guzman likes a rust-free aircraft, you carefully pour some of the naval jelly on the bolt securing the handle to the inside of the aircraft. It goes to work immediately, cleaning deep inside the rusted threads and making them showroom fresh. A plot develops.
What is...
It's too...
So I can hit them with a pipe wrench. With the rust loosening, the nuts slowly begin to turn. After a few turns, they fall off the bolts and skitter across the floor, lost amongst the crates and garbage. The handle is now unattached to the bulkhead, but merely rests on the short bolts protruding through the holes in the handle's plate. Oh, Guzman. Oh,
What is
Guzman.
It's too stuffy back here.
You are...
And...
Now go...
How briefly we've known you.
What is it?
It's too...
See ya! The handle gives way, and Guzman windmills his arm for a moment before tumbling out of the plane.
Whoa!
Too cool. I'll grab the controls.
Oh, hey, you know how to fly a plane. Awesome! Because I was kind of hoping you did, because I sure as fuck didn't. You push the call button. Guzman isn't exactly in a position to talk right now. It doesn't work, but at least you tried. Josie points out that before the two of you engage in a lot of witty repartee and jocular banter, you should do something about that guy hanging off the airplane. You don't want to chop off his fingers, you just want to get rid of him. See ya, Guzman. Oh, that tiny pushpin will have no effect on the powerful hands of Guzman. I need something heavy. The parachute is holy. Grim shot.
Jake, we don't need the fire extinguisher. We need to get rid of Guzman so I can land this thing.
Yes, I knew that. I was just testing to make sure you knew.
Leave that alone.
Sorry.
I resent that. I
resent that. I am not testy. It's either a light bulb receiving insufficient voltage or it's an alien spore giving off a very light phosphorescence. Okay. The golf clubs are in poor condition, rusty, pitted, and bent. Which coincidentally were the names of the other three guys in your last foursome. I assume you mean my band, not the last time I fucked 3 people at the same time. But I might be wrong.
There's a man trying to climb on board, Josie. Should we let him?
Does he look friendly?
I'll have you in my arms for this. I will pound you into a fine red paste and distribute you to those who are less fortunate.
No, he doesn't look friendly.
Then I say let him find his own plane.
This little piggy went to market. This little piggy stayed home. This little piggy had vegetarian lasagna. This little piggy had none. And this little piggy cried, "Oopsie-daisy, all the way down."
I never knew you had this cruel streak in you.
Easy sexy.
Not exactly.
Ew, your hands are all sweaty. Here, let me give you the finger.
This is kind of fun in a weird sort of way.
I have to say, you have very strong fingers.
I work out.
That's good, you see? It pays off.
I never knew you...
Easy.
Not a...
See, this is why you're always losing pencils. If you don't want to carry it, stick it behind your ear and pull your hair over it. So I can't just pry his fingers off. The tiny pushpin will have no effect on the powerful hands of Guzman!
You are wearing a parachute, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay, good.
That was surprisingly blunt.
Is he gone?
Yes, but I don't see his parachute. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, he's gone.
All right, sit down and hold on. This is going to be rough. I haven't landed a plane like this in... oh, ever.
The landing is bruisingly hard, but at least you survive. Josie taxis briefly and then shuts down the engines. Josie has set the plane down on a dirt runway somewhere in the wilds of Brazil. A map sits half open on the instrument panel.
That's a real confidence builder.
You grab the map. Unfortunately, as it's a flight map, it's virtually useless for getting around the forest. Rather than take it with you, which means you'd have to deal with folding it, you put it back on the dashboard. You pick up the fire extinguisher. It's feather light, and the gauge indicates that it's empty. Disgusted, you put it back down. Hey, we're in the jungle! You kneel in the thick border of vegetation rimming the edge of the airstrip. A man is sitting only about 10 feet away inside the shack. As he speaks into the radio, you hear him identify himself as Alanis. Clearly a national, he was probably hired to run this node of Flaxi Castranoga's web of Brazilian operations.
Kiskolen was coming here? This doesn't exactly seem like the head office.
This is true. So what do you think?
I don't know what to think, but I'll tell you one thing.
What?
Don't say this is true. You sound like a Wisconsinite.
No, I'm a flatlander.
Right, okay.
Don't do that. What's a tack in the back of the neck going to do to him?
Irritate him so much that he'll pass out?
There's got to be a way to make it more effective.
You gently tug on the cord, and the fabric insulation begins to come off into your hand. Rather than run the risk of a shock, you leave the cord alone. A power cord insulated with crumbling fabric runs from the side to somewhere inside the shack. It's already on, it's just turning very slowly. In fact, if you look at it again in a year, the blades will have made one complete rotation. Since you can't prove that it isn't already off, you shouldn't waste your time in trying to disprove that it isn't already on, right? Right? Of course! The plants are beautiful and lush, but the landscaping seems haphazard. You reach out and grab a vine, and the vine twists in your hand and looks directly at you, its tongue darting in and out. You drop the snake, which slithers off while your spine gives an involuntary shudder.
You'll let me know when we're done roughing it, right?
Of course.
I've a receding airline. Ow. Spirit of Saber Norwood. I'm turning in the jungle, looking for a random thing. Don't know what I'm looking for, but I hope I find it because I don't have enough items. The runway is very much like a real runway, except for all the big rocks. Just past the edge of the airstrip, the forest quickly becomes very dense, as rainforests often do. What's your excuse? None of these trees have branches low enough for you to climb.
Sometimes I wish I was a baboon.
I've seen your back. Your wish is slowly becoming true. It's worth wall break. Ever notice the gas pumps that stand next to each other for long enough begin to look alike? No, but hey, okay. Don't be a fuel unleaded alone. Don't be a fuel unleaded alone. Oh god, thank you for reminding me of that movie. You start to reach out for a plant, then you think better of it.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
You're not positive, but you believe that's called a Fokker triplane. Little do you know that you're wrong, in fact, it's a Sopwith. You and Josie sneak out to the plane, board it, take off, fly around the area, do some reconnaissance, and land again all without anybody noticing you. Oh yes, and there were some pigs flying up there too. Oh cool, I was on a pig flight cover.
Hey, you. Bring that Jeep over here, okay?
The man with the Jeep looks up at you and, recognizing that you're not from around these parts, shouts something in Portuguese. At once, several men emerge from inside the hangar and run towards you. You and Josie run into the woods, but the men know the area better than you and catch you. Sigmund Kiskolen arrives shortly thereafter and has you arrested. Rather than dealing with bringing you back into the U.S., he has the local officials deal with you. It's not a pretty picture. Fortunately, through the magic of interactive fiction, we're going to transport you back to a simpler time before you opened your big mouth. So once more with feeling. The man by the Jeep is struggling with that tire iron, trying to get the nuts off and change the tire. I have had many problems with my nuts sometimes. It looks like a standard issue pair of binoculars. Cautiously take the binocs off the windowsill and hold them up to your eyes. You survey the area, but you don't notice anything unusual, so you replace them on the sill as quietly as you can.
What's so funny?
Your eyes.
Go!
You wipe your eyes on your sleeve. Hard to believe you fell for that one. The man who calls himself Alanis sounds flustered and angry, very much a bully. Decent corkboard. You could use a corkboard like that. Getting it home on the plane would be such a chore. Maybe you could have him ship it. You won't be needing a corkboard here in Brazil. You have very deep pockets. Wow, it says they'll clean an entire hut and shampoo the ground for only $39.95. Okay, come on. Ah, don't quit. No. No. You're not inclined to need the map of elevations. Well, apparently I should look at it. From where you're squatting, it appears to be a map of elevations. Oh, okay, thank you. It's too far away to read, and it's certainly not worth risking your life for a better look. You probably already know most of the names anyway. On what? It's a list of environmentalist celebrities considered armed, obnoxious, and dangerous, with instructions to get shot on sight. The Nutcracker sits in the middle of the table.
Don't take that nutcracker now. You'd get in his line of sight.
It's a risk we'll just have to take.
No, it isn't.
I like the way you think. Looks like your basic 1960-ish American-made desk chair, perfectly suitable to task. It's probably a cast-off from Fax and Castronova's offices. Sitting in Alanis's lap might alert him to the fact that you're in the immediate vicinity. There's a tattered map on the table. You reach out and grab the map. Alanis, not being a total peep, sees you do this. He doesn't take it very well, and before you know it, you've been taken prisoner. Then Guzman shows up. The official report says you were shot while trying to escape protective custody.
Fortunately, all of that happens in an alternate time stream in which you actually made that choice. So now let's return to our regular time stream, already in progress.
And after my own heart. Because the Crosstime... Actually, didn't you? Because Mike Callahan's Crosstime Saloon, where I started this chapter. Or did you come in after that? It's the Wind Blaster 32. 100% oxygen compatible, 4 times blades, and it only cost $4. That's 32 bits. The Wind Blaster 32. Yeah, okay, then the Saloon is kind of the hub.
That sky is the color of blue raspberry-flavored beverage from pre-sweetened non-juice powdered drink mix.
So, how's the songwriting career going?
Not that well.
I like the way you think. Okay, there's got to be some way to make this tack thing that much more useful. But I'll be bugger-fucked if I know what it is. Oh, hey, what's this? The pocket is crammed with old flying magazine, candy bar wrappers, and tissues. You find nothing worth reading, eating, or blowing your nose into. The pilot seat isn't in appreciably better condition than the passenger seat. You sit in the pilot's seat for a moment, just for the thrill of it.
Wow, that was neat.
Thrilling, one might say. A handheld radio mic dangles from the instrument panel. With the plane shut off, the radio is dead.
Breaker, breaker, breaker.
Okay. They broke it.
It's dead. You killed her.
The engine and electrical systems are off, rendering the controls useless. Thousands of acres of stumps and dead vegetation spread out to the horizon beyond the airstrip. It's almost inconceivable that this much devastation can occur in just a matter of days, and that the pace of this destruction has been kept up for years. Yeah, I know how that goes. So the scanner doesn't work. You'd have to be holding the wires. Well, I can't pull the wires because they're anchored. Nope. I can go into the forest. You take a tramp in the woods.
Hey, I resent that.
How are your wilderness skills?
Not a lot of forests where I came from. Survival training in the wild wasn't part of the curriculum at the time Police Academy.
Me either. I don't want to get lost.
Let's turn back and figure out a way to get our bearings.
Oh, you cowards. You could certainly peg him from here, but you also might destroy his left posterior lobe. No, not that posterior. There's got to be a subtler means to a similar, albeit less graphic, end. No, not that end.
Don't do that. What's a tack in the back of the neck? There's gotta be a way.
He don't need no sneaking bamboo. It's much more convenient simply to carry it shoved down your pants. That's good to know. Ah, it's a fifth of Old Damned Brad, favorite of prom goers everywhere. Can't put... You won't be needing the bottle of Old Damned Brad. There's hardly anything you can do with it that you can't do with a bottle of rust remover. Doesn't work, but at least you try. You have only one very precious pushpin. Guard it well and never ever shoot it at an inanimate object. Well, that's why it's true to the chief command. It's like it's an inanimate object, apparently. I am missing something, I think. This is the old Ford TriStar you appropriated. It's nothing fancy, it's just plain transportation. It's a very expensive, trendy green glass halogen lamp found in baby boomer catalogs everywhere, designed to look like an old pool table lamp. You don't see a switch, and you doubt they put in a clapper. The moment you start to climb in through the window, Josie janks you back down.
What are you trying to do?
Well, there are several things. I could try to reason with Alanese, point out some of why plowing the forest under is a bad idea. Or I could knock him out, then knock out everybody else around here and spike the trees or something Greenpeacean like that.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Or I could figure something else out.
This isn't Boa Vista, is it?
No, we're probably a good few hundred miles from Boa Vista.
I thought that's where we were going.
That's the closest big city, but we're going into the forest. Faxon probably has several little prefab airstrips like this one. Let's hope this one is near the Grove.
And if it's not?
I can start the plane up again if we have to.
We're not very far from where we dropped Guzman, are we? Now, aren't you sorry we didn't get a knish?
How can you think of food at a time like this?
Hey, don't pull that bit with me. We're going halfway around the world to rescue dessert. Shouldn't we make nice with the locals?
I don't think they know about us yet, and I'd just as soon keep it that way for as long as possible. They're not going to be very sympathetic to the cause. Sorry about your jobs, fellas, but the trees come first.
That'd be some job of consciousness raising.
You're a folk singer, man. Come on, do your job. Stir us all to a higher plane of consciousness.
Darn, I forgot Lady Macbeth.
That's your excuse for everything.
Lady Macbeth is his guitar.
I can't think of a way to get that map.
Together, I'm sure we can think of something.